Thanks.
reach over
Oh,
and
what are you doing?
tweet at my 43 followers that I'm on a podcast and that they should not click that link because they know better than that.
Oh, they should know, yeah.
I'm just gonna retweet the Boy Howdy one.
Yeah.
For my... I don't know how many followers I have.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really kept track of mine either. I used to have a thing that would
More
tell
than I
me,
do.
like, they would email me whenever I lost a follower, and I lost so many I think I broke it.
Doesn't work anymore, Bill.
Yeah, no, so I think most of my followers are just like spam accounts and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna tweet out the link.
Most
right
of
now.
everyone's is.
Oh, that's such a cute cat. I can hear it.
I know, hang on. You can't see her because she's like... I can't put the monitor any further down.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. It's cool. I can hear it. That's the important part, is being able to hear the cat. The purring is the best part.
Yeah.
got-
It might have been
see
the
if I
character
can
for the
turn this.
entire podcast.
I got some parakeets over there.
You have parakeets?
You can see the, yeah, you can see the one on the left, or, yeah, it should be the left for you guys too, is just sitting there looking kind of sick. He's been doing that for about 2 months.
Aw.
This little bugger would just grab already something. It's getting depressing.
So you guys don't use GarageBand or anything, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. I just thought I'd check
If you
before.
need me
like-
to, I could figure it out.
No, it's no problem. I just know if you guys had experience, we could have just done some live recordings and I could have added them later. I can just rip the audio straight from the YouTube video later, so it's no problem.
Okay, I'll try to. Send me a link at some point, and I'll look into that and just see if I can get that set up.
No, it would take a while to figure, because you have to figure out how to record and then export.
Oh no, not today, but
Yeah. Oh, for future reference, yeah. Andy's the one who actually had to teach
Yeah.
me how to do all that stuff, so I'm not even the expert on that shit.
oh, okay.
So, okay.
Well, Annie's dead to us, so.
Gone. He left us, oh my god! She cares more about Canadians than she does us.
Oh no, not
Well, to be
Canadian.
fair, when the Canadians are Emily Carroll in life.
Those
Yeah.
are cool people. Emily and Kate are very awesome. Very nice people.
Yeah, they certainly seem like it. It's weird to think that, like, a year and a little over half ago, Emily Carroll was just someone I thought was super cool on the internet and would never even sort of possibly know, and now I know, like, one of her best friends, and it's weird.
Yeah. Man, I used to... Emily Carroll and Kate Craig, her wife, I went to go visit a mutual friend of ours up in Toronto. This is over 10 years ago. This is like 10 or... It must have been like 12 years ago. And they put me up in their little dormitory. They were all going to school together up at Sheridan Animation College. They were going to school with Vera Brosgol, who now works at Leica, who makes like Coraline and all that stuff. And they put me up, and they were very cool. And then I did not see them again for like another 8 years until Emily Carroll became a big thing on the internet. And I didn't realize the internet famous Emily Carroll was the same Emily Carroll who let me sleep on her couch like 12 years ago. And even when I met her at conventions, I did not recognize her as being the same lady. And so I was like, oh, my name's Will Mudred. And she's like, you fat fuck, you slept on my... She didn't call me fat fuck. But that's what I felt like, where I was like, you bastard, you slept on my couch. Of course I knew who you are. I've been following you on Twitter. Like, it was just, yeah, I made it total... Well, also, her art, her art style back then was completely different from what it is now. And so that's part of the reason why I didn't recognize her as being the same person. I just thought she had the same name. I thought it was a coincidence, but yeah.
Emily and Carroll are both pretty common, so I could see how you'd make that mistake.
And so it was a combination of her having kind of reinvented herself as an artist, and also me being very stupid. I got easily tricked into thinking she was a whole new human being.
I can believe that.
Brand new person.
So, yeah, she's very nice, and yeah, her comics, her illustration stuff is just fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I think doesn't
top-notch.
she have a book coming out next month?
Does she?
Yeah, she has some kind
I
of
heard
something.
something about that. I didn't
She's
know it was
actually
next
becoming
month.
published. She's not gonna be famous just on the internet, but like she's gonna be like on NPR and shit. I bet she's gonna be like Kate.
In real life famous.
Yeah, real life famous, not fucking fake internet famous. Yeah, that's why we have to
Is
start
Kate
robbing
Beaton
banks.
real life famous? Because no one I know knows about her.
Oh, she's known in the publishing world and stuff. I mean, there's a difference between like our moms knowing who Kate Beaton is, and like Kate Beaton's known. She's a thing. She's more popular than us. She's ascended to kind of like.
That's not saying much, so.
I know why.
Fair. It's not hard to be more popular than me.
She's not Jim Davis. Let's put it that way.
Guys, before we get too much further,
Well,
shall
that's
we
probably
start the
for the
podcast properly?
What kind of did we?
Nah.
We didn't do introduction. You know who we are.
Apologies if my sniffle got allergies,
That's
so
gonna
I
be the
sound like a
opening.
little bit like a heroin addict. Wait, no, heroines don't smoke. Wait, is it coke addicts who sniffle?
Cocaine.
Oh God. Anyway, yeah, okay, so
Cocaine.
okay,
You can snort crack.
I will take Andy's role and actually start the podcast. This is gonna go fucking terribly. Thank you guys so much for showing up.
Mhm.
Okay,
You're welcome.
So,
It's not too late to leave.
welcome. Oh God, that can't be the beginning. No. Okay. Welcome everybody to Jurassic Park, and by Jurassic Park I mean this week's episode of the Boy Howdy podcast. This week we have Maxwell Motley, who is eating. She's a brontosaurus walking out of a giant lake with birds floating in the
I don't know
background.
where you're going with this.
Jacob is the other brontosaurus who is eating from the tree. Welcome to Jurassic Park. And the people listening at home, they're Dr. Grant, like taking off their sunglasses and standing up at the jeep and going, "Oh my God,
No,
the amazing
they're the
podcast."
kids. They're the kids in the kitchen, just desperately hiding behind the counters.
Well, that's what the audience is going to be by the end of the podcast, where they're screaming
Okay.
and
Okay.
feel
where
like the T-Rex is trying to eat them.
velociraptors who've learned to
Yeah.
open doors.
It's like a theme park ride. There's a whole
know.
part to the story.
I don't even know why I'm going off on a Jurassic Park tip, because I haven't seen that movie since it came out in theater, so that I might be completely wrong about if that's how that movie
I haven't
opened.
seen that movie since the 90s.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing?
think I've seen that
Back on
in the last-
VHS.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Nah,
Why not?
I'm Jacob.
Yeah, fine.
Good podcast, guys. That was a good show.
Yeah,
I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Anyway, I'm Maxwell Motley, and Bill will probably call me Helen about 4 times at least in this podcast.
Have I called
So
you Helen
good-
yet?
Not yet, but
Maxwell Motley's a lady of many names. I get easily confused. If
Yep.
people listening at home can't tell that I am not that bright, yeah.
so yeah.
Well,
and
my
you may-
grandmother is named Helen, so it's easy to keep straight for me.
And that's Jacob. Jacob, I hate DRM. DRM.
Hi. 75.
Oh, that's what it is. Wait, were
You
you
don't want to
born in
follow
like
the guy who said,
1975?
I hate DRM. No, I just picked 2 numbers I thought looked good.
Okay, I was born in
I'm also
1975.
I hate DRM 90 in Minecraft.
Yeah.
I was born in 1992.
Also, if you
So-
guys at
Oh
home
my
hear
gosh.
purring, it's not because Maxwell Motley is purring, it's she got her cat.
My cat will be on and off me. Well, one of them at least, probably.
So how you guys doing?
Gone now.
How was your guys' week?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Not super eventful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Going to
yeah,
Minecraft.
that's it.
Yeah, my,
I'm doing a podcast now.
yep,
This
yep.
is I'm so used to having Annie here to browbeat me into talking or like kind of move the podcast forward. I'm just kind of like I'm kind of waiting for someone
How
else
does
to
this
take
work
over the
now?
podcast. I'm the kind of the worst co-host you could be having this week. Maxwell, have you played any Destiny?
I haven't yet, actually. I do have it on pre-order. Well, me and my husband have 1 copy, but we're probably going to end up having to have 2 so that we
Okay.
can actually do the co-op.
Are people in the UK? Can they play the alpha that's out right now?
I don't think so. None of us have been given a code, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be anything UK-based for the alpha, unfortunately. I'm hoping that there'll be some beta stuff, but
Yeah,
nothing
that's
for
right.
the
Yeah, I
alpha
forgot
is,
about
yeah.
the betas. Yeah, that's coming on like in July, I think.
Yeah, July 7th?
Yeah. And Jacob, did we I can't remember. Did we actually get a chance to play yesterday? Yes, we
I
did.
watched you guys
Played for
play.
like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay, that's right. No, I got confused because well, yesterday we played.
Helen watched. The Maxwell watched. Now you're getting me confused about her name.
And then
I'm blaming you for this.
I wound up playing with Jimmy and Conley last night too, and I got confused as to who I actually wound up playing with yesterday.
Yes,
yeah,
'cause-
so
As I
Wait,
have
so why didn't you
learned,
invite me to
built
play?
under the passage of time.
what's that? Oh, this is like 2 o'clock in the morning last night. After I got back from
Okay, I
dinner.
was asleep.
Yeah, I figured you were asleep because while I logged online, you weren't online anymore, and I didn't think anyone else would be online. But
Okay.
Jimmy and Conley were both up at like 2 o'clock in the morning playing fucking Destiny, and they both had work the next morning. And I was like, all right, shouldn't you guys be asleep?
Oh,
I have an
okay.
excuse. I work from home. I can be up at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday playing Destiny. What are you guys doing? They're like, we just like Destiny. It's just fun. So I had a good time playing Destiny.
Fair enough.
No, but Destiny's
I've
actually
enjoyed
pretty
what
good.
I've
I'm surprised at how much I like that. From what I've played from the demo so far. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, it's a solid shooter.
Yeah.
It's a little bare bones at the moment. The only way it feels like an alpha is it feels like they cut out about 75% of the content.
Uh-huh.
Like, it feels like there's not a lot of armor. A lot of stuff is out of your level, too, and you can still see it. Like, I looked into those armor shaders, and you can't use them until level 20.
Ships.
But level 9 is the max for the beta.
Yeah, you think they would have stripped some of that stuff out just so? I mean, I guess they want to show you the
I
variety.
want you to know it's there, but
Yeah.
I have to
Although
wonder if it'll still be level 20 in the full game, because that seems a little high. I don't know if I want to play for 20 hours to get there.
Do you think level 20 is the level cap? Because I haven't seen anything that's unlockable beyond. I haven't seen anything referencing anything beyond level 20.
I can't imagine they're gonna
level
hold
cap
things
in the
back
alpha
like
being level
SIPs
8.
and stuff.
So a level 20
8, not
level
9?
cap would be pretty low.
Yeah, and I can't imagine they're gonna hold a bunch of stuff back until you're like max level. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that would be nuts. So I don't know.
I have to assume it's higher. I think they might actually lower those item requirements too. I think that might just be as high as it is, so that you can't.
Well, it
get
really
to
just depends on what the actual max level is too. So who knows? Maxwell, have you played much Call of Duty or Halo?
Neither actually. I've not played Halo because, sorry, my cat is going mental. Good times. No, I've not played either. I've only had an Xbox because I was given one. Other than that, I personally have not played any of the Call of Duty. I think we might actually own some, but I've not played it.
Okay.
Just because personally, thanks, cat. But just because it's not really my sort of thing so much.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think,
fine. Yeah.
Beyond doing the sort of normal campaign stuff, I never really play online unless it's with people I know. I don't play with random people, very much in the same way that Annie's mentioned before. I won't play with people I don't know because it's the worst. It's horrible. I did it very briefly in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood when that first started having multiplayer. I did that
that's
a
the
little
reason
bit.
why I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of surprised you were actually interested in playing Destiny, just because it is, I mean, it's kind of an MMO, but it's so based off of first-person shooting. I don't know if you cared that much about first-person shooters.
I'm not really. It's not so much a first-person shooter thing. I think it's more that I tend not to like things that are too grounded in reality. I like a lot of fantasy, sci-fi stuff, and Destiny. I think the right side.
Yeah, Destiny's very kind of like soap opera, not space opera, kind of like it's not quite
space
as
opera. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems even more ridiculous than Halo. Whereas, Jacob, you said you had not played any of the Halo games, so you've played a whole bunch of PC first-person shooters.
I wouldn't say a whole bunch. I've played. Well, they're kind of considered the standards, the Bioshocks. Never played Call of Duty. Always meant to, but I keep waiting for a good one to come around that's worth playing. Because I feel like I kind of should, as interested as I am in games. I feel like you should play at least one Call of Duty at some point. But they never get cheap. They're always like $30 in the Steam sales. Yeah, but they're always like $30 on sale. They never go below 20. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to put out for a game that's quite old.
Yeah, so I guess I'm the only person on the podcast who's actually played a Halo before, huh?
I guess.
I haven't had a chance, or would have.
No, this game's very Halo. I was really surprised because everyone was just comparing Destiny to Borderlands, which it is because, you have multiple people running around together completing missions and stuff like that. But I didn't realize that this would be as much of an MMO as it is, with like a whole little social hub world where you're accepting quests and stuff and handing in quests. And trading goods that you found in the world for money and things like that, and it seems pretty cool. I really like the feel of the game, like the actual the combat's kind of nice. It kind of plays like Halo, except they added a couple. Yeah, they added a couple Call of Duty flourishes to kind of make you a little more nimble. Like you can actually sprint. It's not like a special. Whereas in later Halo games, they eventually added the ability to sprint as like a special ability. This is just baked in, and actually you click in the thumbstick like you do, just like you do in Call of Duty 2, and you can aim down the sights, which is kind of nice, which is something I got used to with Call of Duty. And yeah, you're not nearly as slow moving and as much of a tank as you were as playing as Master Chief in the Halo games, which is kind of nice. Even though the enemies are right out of Halo, where there's presets where like kind of the main guys are almost just like the elites from Halo, where they're like big, tall, anthropomorphic guys, and instead of the little grunt guys from Halo, which were like these little midgets who had like little turtle shells on their back, who would like scream, "Oh my God, he's here!" and they would run interference. They weren't much of a threat, but they were just kind of like cannon fodder. Instead of that, in Destiny, they have like these floating orange tank things that kind of float around in the sky, which again aren't very dangerous, but they're just there just to kind of like
you can die quick.
But yeah, no, it's
might be the armor
pretty cool. Aside from Peter Dinklage, the game seems to be pretty well put together. Which I hate
think
to
that
say, 'cause
lizard
I love
came
Peter
from
Dinklage.
the moon.
Yeah, I can't. Maxwell, have you seen any of the clips of Peter Dinklage's voice in the game?
I've not seen the bit because I think the bit I was watching you guys play. I think you talked over the voice acting, so I didn't.
Yeah, that's
hear
what
it.
happened. Yeah,
I've heard
Jacob, yeah.
something weird about the voice acting or whatever.
Yeah, it's just bad. I don't want to talk
It's
about
bad.
like the end of all,
It's
like
weird.
the end all be all of terrible voice acting. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's almost
But for
it's
a big
almost
budget
kitschy
game
in the
like
way
this,
it's bad.
especially with Peter Dinklage is a known good actor. It's just it's so like,
Yeah.
oh no, what is this? Oh no, it's The Hive. I have a bad feeling.
I mean, they're kind of yeah. They seem to be going for kind of a cheesy 70s sci-fi kind of thing with it, with the
But it's
blue
not
people that are just blue people. It's not quite working. I mean, it borders on so bad it's kind of good in a way, but it doesn't feel intentional, and it's not bad enough, and it just kind of ends up feeling like a waste of Peter Dinklage.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a shame because Peter Dinklage is known good. It's just I don't know if he was voice like the voice director kind of fucked up and tried to make him sound disinterested, trying to make him sound like a robot because
It almost sounds like placeholder voice acting.
Yeah, well, it's weird because he's essentially, well, again, you guys haven't played Halo, but the main person who's talking in your ear the whole time throughout the Halo games is Cortana. It's this lady, she's an AI, she's this lady's voice. Yep. And he seems to be the version of that in this game where he is the one voice you're going to hear all throughout the entire game, and if he's going to come off sounding that bad, they got to fix it because it just sounds... Yeah, he sounds like he's got a gun put to his head while recording that voice dialogue. It's. Oof.
I mean, it's not going to make me cancel a pre-order or anything, but you know.
No. Well, they still have 3 months to try and fix it too. So.
Yeah.
If that's the worst thing you can say about a game, though, is like a bit of the voice acting is kind of terrible.
The voice acting is boring.
Yeah. Well, then again, Bungie also has a history of having very kind of muddy world build. Maybe not muddy world building, but muddy storytelling, and the characters are never necessarily that interesting. So I'm kind of curious to see if Peter Dinklage, being the one character who you interact with this in the game, is already this terrible. I hope it doesn't bode poorly for any other characters you meet. I mean, there's other good voice actors in the game, but I don't know how good their characters are going to be. Or I don't know.
Yeah, I suspect there's going to be more story in the full game. Probably in the beta too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait for that then, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, so Destiny is pretty cool.
How it really is. Yeah, Alpha ends tomorrow, doesn't it? It's over. It ends at like midnight, doesn't it?
The weekend, but like Maxwell was saying, I guess there's there's the beta. It's ridiculous that they're even calling this the alpha because no game is this well put together in an alpha state.
Yeah, the only way it feels like an alpha is because most of the content's cut out. It's not in any way.
Exactly. It's not like
alpha.
A game in alpha is just it's kind of barely in its most like barely put together state. It's not like this where like you can like play with other people online and stuff like that. And then there's the beta next month, and that sounds like that's going to even be more of an open thing. Even though it seems like Bungie and Sony have putting out a shitload of invites for this thing, where it was kind of closed for the first couple days. I think yesterday, Amazon started randomly sending people.
That's how I got mine.
Willy nilly.
I didn't even pre-order. They just sent me a code.
The only reason I thought I got a code is because I bought a PlayStation 4 last year, so I thought maybe they were like, well, you just got a PlayStation 4.
That might be why I got it.
So, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to play with you, Max, next month. So
maybe we'll see. Time zones are such a.
I plan to pre-order to get into the beta.
We can figure something out. If I can play at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's like 8 a.m. your time or something? 10 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, you. Yes, but we already know you're not very good at keeping the passage of time when you think it's a Thursday on a Wednesday.
When it comes to video games, I can make an exception.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what else? What else you guys been up to?
Well, today I tried to go and see How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah, so what happened?
It's advanced previews today because it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, people!
Yeah, woo! Is it Father's Day in the UK?
It is, yes.
Okay, because I know Mother's Day was a different thing. Like it's not
time.
Yeah. Oh, because you were explaining to me how Mother's Day, it was Mothering Day originally.
It's because we celebrate Mother's Day on Mothering Sunday, which is the traditional Christian something or other. I'm not very Christian, so I can't really explain this very well. But so Mothering Sunday goes back a very, very long time, but actually celebrating it as Mother's Day is a newer thing. And I think we just decided we'll just smush them together. We'll make Mothering Sunday and Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Well, I mean, that's how most Christian holidays came around, just smushing them together of pagan holidays. So,
smoosh.
Not judging, just saying. You know.
Yeah. But Father's Day is today, and it seems to be the same in America and everywhere else. Well, I guess some places probably have it on different days, but yeah.
America, that's the only other country that really counts. Come on.
Come on. Maybe Canada, if you feel like being generous.
Yeah.
Jacob, before we record too much, is there a way you could push your microphone a little bit farther away from your face because it sounds a little staticky poppy when you talk?
Is it?
Just a bit. Okay, that already sounds better. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I tried to go because there were advanced previews today, because I think the film doesn't actually come out here until the 11th of July.
Okay, I was gonna say because I know it just opened here in the States yesterday because the people I went out to dinner with they had just came out of a screening of the movie. Yeah. So what happened? Yeah, what's what?
Yeah, so I booked it online yesterday because I saw that it was available and I was like, oh my gosh, amazing! I get to see it like loads ahead of when I thought I was going to, and try and avoid some of the million spoilers on the internet.
Spoilers, dragons.
No, there's spoilers. When this family...
I'll take my headphones off.
Yeah, no, when my friends came out of the screening last night, their kid was screaming and shouting the spoiler from the movie at the end.
Oh, no!
They had to explain it to me, because I hadn't remembered anything about the first one, but they were like, blah, 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 happened. And I was like, what the hell's that mean? And they had to explain it to me quietly after dinner, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
What do you mean he's Superman?
Don't tell me. I don't need to know it.
What's the name of the dragon? The main dragon?
Toothless.
It's Hiccup and who?
Toothless.
Toothless. Okay, yeah.
Toothless is the dragon. Hiccup is the main character.
Yeah.
I thought. I had stomach flu when I watched that movie. I don't know. It's been a long time.
It's a good movie to watch while having stomach flu, though. It's kind of comfy.
Yes.
It was better than my double feature of Seven and Cinder's List. That was a fun day.
That what?
That double feature I had with stomach flu of Seven and Cinder's List.
Jesus Christ. Wow, you're tickle. That was very sour viewing.
It was the TV edit of Seven, to be fair.
See, if I had to watch, if I were sick, like perfect like sick day viewing would be like Galaxy Quest and like Hook or something like, or some kind of like stupid shit, but not like. Anyway, I'm sorry, Maxwell. You were telling a story.
Yeah, sorry.
About stuff. No. We're both interrupting. It's cool.
I'm just talking about my traumatic movie experiences.
Without an Annie here to browbeat us back into line, this is going to be a very shapeless, muddy podcast.
I'm too British to do that.
6 hours from now we'll be done.
Actually intervene and be like.
Anyway, so yeah, I booked VIP tickets because I don't go to the cinema that often.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, it'll be cool, we'll go VIP. And there was only 3D available, so you could either see it 3D normal viewing or 3D VIP. And so I booked the VIP, and we sat in this booth, and it was quite cool. It's this glass booth at the very back, at the same height as the projectionist.
Really?
Yeah, so, and it's completely isolated from everything else. It has its own interior sound system, and better chairs and stuff like that.
Is it like a little surround system, like within the glass booth?
Yeah, within the booth itself. So the sound from the main cinema.
That sounds like a great way to see a movie.
Yeah, that sounds like ideal.
So it sounds amazing, right?
Uh-huh.
Except for the fact that this real 3D does not work through the glass.
Oh,
So we got to the bit where they actually so we got to the bit where they were actually started showing trailers in 3D, because previous to that they've been showing obviously the normal adverts and trailers and go buy some food. That's all 2D.
Oh, that's terrible.
3D. And I was just like, I just felt because we had to buy these glasses this time. It wasn't the kind where you get given them. Because apparently there's a difference between 3D and real D3D. Whatever.
See, technically, you're supposed to give them back, and regardless what you get. I stole mine.
I've seen the real 3D.
Oh no, we're allowed to keep
they've
these.
given us glasses, yeah.
Yeah, these ones are meant to be kept. They're like you pay your money and you don't give them back. That's you're meant. And then
so it's like a premium thing.
Yeah, but
okay.
So we started watching it, and I'm like, this 3D is not really working. Like some scenes it seems to be, but anytime there's like real huge levels of depth, it's just not working. I'm just like, and Kerry doesn't see it quite as well as I do, so he doesn't know that there's a problem as much as I did, and I got to a point where I was just like, this is not working. We need to say something. Went outside to speak to someone, one of the people outside, and they were like, oh, I'm really sorry. We don't normally sell tickets for VIP for 3D films because it doesn't work. And
so, then why did you sell them in the first place?
Well, this is I know exactly, but we did it on the website, and apparently sometimes for whatever reason it lets you buy these tickets. And
and they let you come in and sit down, and it wasn't until you left to complain that they were like, oh yeah, that's right, we forgot to tell you, that's not going to work.
But the thing is, I didn't want to watch the film where it would be looking like, because it was really jarring. Like only the character and just about that was in focus. Everything else was like offset, like two of everything. And also in
what
the
you should have done is you should have walked into the normal theater and said, hey, I'm going to take off. Would you like these VIP tickets? And then just wait for them to leave and steal their seats.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, it was because obviously it was Father's Day. It was absolutely full of kids. We weren't going to get a seat that was anything other than right at the front. So we're going to get a refund and have to go later when it actually comes out.
At least you're getting a refund.
Yeah, well, we have to contact them first, but it's just frustrating.
But now you can spoil everyone for about the first 10 minutes of the movie, though. You can be like,
no, didn't even get that far. Just got into the trailers for other films in 3D. So
that's actually worth finding.
What was the big dramatic reveal for the credits?
Yeah.
So are you gonna file a complaint about that? Try to get your money back?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
that is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, so
so sorry about that. So so did you really like the first movie then? Enough to
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I really, really enjoyed the first movie, despite the fact that I don't know why, but most people don't seem to notice that all of the kids are American and all of the adults are Scottish.
Yeah.
I
did notice that.
It's just, wait, so they hit puberty and they get Scottish accents?
Isn't everyone supposed to be a Viking?
It's like Harry Potter at the age
they're
of
Scottish?
11
yeah, Scottish Vikings.
That is a little weird.
As someone descended from Vikings, I should probably be offended, but whatevs. They can have it. I don't care.
So, okay, I didn't realize. I thought Chris Sanders would have written and directed How to Train Your Dragon 2, but I guess he didn't. What? Sweet.
I thought it was the same director-writer.
Oh, no, okay, so the guy who wrote and directed How to Train Your Dragon 2 was the guy who co-created Lilo and Stitch with Chris Sanders, so at least it's one of his buddies working on that. Huh. Okay, that's good. That's a good pedigree. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize Lilo and Stitch was created by anybody but Chris Sanders.
Yes, he worked on it all by himself. He drew every single frame.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Man, have you ever seen Chris Sanders' pinup art where he's got the ladies with the boobs on top of boobs?
Yep.
Little
I have seen
ice cream nipples.
I haven't seen it, but I can picture what you've described because I've used the internet.
All you have to do is Google Chris Sanders pinup, and you'll see. I know so many people who are grossed out by his pinup art because he has one lady he loves to draw, which is essentially the sister from Lilo and Stitch. But he loves to draw ladies with puffy nipples, so it's kind of like almost like a little mini boob on top of the normal boob. Yeah, so I know a lot of ladies who are like, oh my god, that's so gross.
Okay, so Max, I'm thinking we might be able to vote to kick Bill out. Let me find that feature.
Chris Sanders loves titties. He loves titties, dragons, and Stitch.
Okay. Well, when he combines the three, he'll finally have his masterpiece.
I've already seen the banner online. Oh God,
That's good.
We had this conversation about Rule 34, and I was explaining to them about how I never understood why anyone would want to bone Gadget from the Disney Afternoon until I saw some
actually legitimately great. When they saw her, and
I saw some great Rule 34 art of her a couple days ago, and I was like, damn, you know what? Actually, I would probably hit that.
Yep. Okay.
What?
Okay. So speaking of bad theater experiences, when I went to go see the third,
Okay.
When I went to go see the third Harry Potter movie, they actually got it in the wrong order. Whenever they had to switch the film reels, they did the last one second, and then the middle one last after the first one.
Did you see it on opening day?
It was.
That would be especially confusing, seeing as that has time travel in it.
That's pretty. Yeah. So for a while, I'm like, well, they really did some weird stuff to this book. I know it had time travel and all, but this is bizarre.
Well, I can see it because the last thing you see before credits, it's Harry on the hippogriff, and it kind of freeze frames. And if that's the end of the reel, and then suddenly it jumps back forward to like he's eating lunch with Ron and Hermione, or something like that. Yeah.
I don't remember that much of it, but oh man, it was weird. You didn't realize it until midway through the middle part of the film, which turned out to be the last part of the film. And I think that they actually put the last part on after the middle part because they screwed up.
Oh dear.
It's funny
I still haven't really seen that movie the way it's meant to be seen.
It's funny because you're not gonna the chances for seeing stuff like that in the future is going to be almost non-existent while with digital production, where you're just getting like a single digital file to project. There's no reels or to stitch together or anything.
You're right. I should be grateful that they stitched together the reels incorrectly.
Man,
at least I didn't have Tyler Durden in the production booth.
Yeah, and that was only the best Harry Potter movie too. That's you didn't miss too much, but
I know I should go back and watch it too. Now that I know who Alphonse Cuarón is.
It is easily the best Harry Potter movie. And it's a good movie on its own right, not just the best Harry Potter movie. But do you agree, Maxwell?
Yeah, when it first came out.
I really like that film as well. I think it was I think after Chamber of Secrets, it really started coming into its own. Yeah. I think it's the first one where Flitwick is not a tiny wizard, but he's like a tiny man instead.
Oh, he's not like the pizza face melty guy.
Yeah, because they did something weird with him in the first couple of films where he's like a little goblin.
Yeah,
and then they change him back into being just a small man. Some of the designs change around, and the designs of the uniforms change in this one as well. Yeah. And then
that's also the Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the first one where the kids are actually kind of dressed like normal kids for most of the movie, rather than like in their robes and everything like that.
Yeah, not just solidly in robes with weird hats.
Which is weird because that's specifically Muggle clothing, and they never explain why all these wizard kids are suddenly running around with Muggle clothing instead of like, British boarding school kind of clothes. But yeah, I don't know.
What do you think British boarding school kids wear?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a boarding school, so I could see how they might have a uniform, but it's never mentioned in the book. Yeah. And are you going to walk around in robes all day, just waiting for everyone to pull it up and flash you as you walk by? I mean, they're teenagers. Bad things are going to happen if you have them walking around in robes all day.
That, yeah. All the kids are running around naked underneath their robes just because we're going to fuck anyway. Why even bother wearing clothes?
Yeah. Speaking of Rule 34.
It seems like it'd be cold and moist in the Scottish Highlands. You wouldn't want to run around naked under your robes in that weather too much. Even in a magical fairyland of Hogwarts.
Yeah, Scotland is cold.
So what else? Okay, what else is going on with you guys?
I have about 6 things on my let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things on my list of things I've done.
Yeah.
So what do you want to hear about? Amnesia, Transistor?
What's your highlights?
My highlights?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't want to alarm anyone. I don't want to scare you guys or anything. This could be rough, but I read a book.
Oh my god.
It was called The Golem and the Genie.
Is it good?
It was pretty good, actually. Yeah, imagine a Neil Gaiman book, but he can write people.
Holy shit.
I know,
Is this
right?
the one about their lovers? Isn't it like the modern aren't they like people and they're fucking?
No, that's well, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't tell you without like spoiling the books. It's never. They never really get together in that sense. It's implied they might after the book.
Is it a romance?
It has. It's not a full-on romance. It certainly has romance elements. What it mostly is it's just these characters existing in turn of the century New York, 1899, and their experiences in some Jewish borough of New York that I don't remember the name of because I'm a terrible person and I can't. Yeah, that's the Golem stuff. And then the genie is in Little Syria working as a metalsmith because he can get his hands hot enough to work metal. So he's just naturally good at that.
Wait, is the Golem a lady or is this the gay story?
Yes, the Golem. The Golem is a lady and the genie is a dude. The Golem is actually created as to be the wife of a man who's moving to New York because nobody wants him where he lives. So he's hoping to make a new life in the new country. And then he dies on the boat over. But first he wakes up this Golem he had created for him as his wife. And then as soon as he does it, he's like, oh, and it turns out he has appendicitis and dies like an hour later. And then this Golem has no idea what to do. Because the way that works, in this book at least, is the Golem is completely the slave of its master up until the point the master dies, and it gains some amount of free will.
Yeah.
But it can still hear the thoughts of other people and kind of wants to just kind of be subservient and do whatever they want.
Okay.
So she's just hearing everyone's thoughts on this boat and just trying to figure out what on earth to do.
Yeah, she must be losing her goddamn mind.
So she just barely manages to make it. Yes, that's a large part of her story. So she makes it to New York on the boat, and she gets to Ellis Island. And she's just picking up on all these people, because no one trusts her, because no one saw her get on the boat. She was in a crate.
Okay.
Just being smuggled on the ship, because why buy a ticket for your Golem when you can just
like
crate and no, she does not. She can eat. There's a rather awkward chapter where she talks about that. I won't go into that. There's a bowl involved. It's a weird conversation. Anyway, so she gets to Ellis Island and she's going through immigration. It's a good book. You should read it. She gets to Ellis Island and she picks up. Yeah, she gets to Ellis Island and she picks up on the immigration officer just really not wanting to deal with this woman who has no papers. That her husband's just died. She has nothing. This guy's going to have to like throw her off in jail or something or deport her, and he just doesn't want to deal with it. So she says, okay, this I can do. So she jumps off the island, off the railing, and walks to New York.
Okay.
On the bottom of the ocean floor.
It's like the end of the Pirates.
And that's how she starts off.
Zombie pirates are walking under the water to get at the bad guys. Yeah.
So eventually she finds this old rabbi, and then they start living together. He's teaching her because he sees some spark of humanity, so he could destroy her, but he doesn't want to because he recognizes that regardless of how she was created, this is a person of some kind. She deserves a chance, and that's the rough of her story arc. The genie is a little simpler. He's trapped in a lamp. A coppersmith is fixing the lamp, and he goes, "Okay, I can fix this work on this lamp because it's got all this scroll work on it." He's like, okay, this is damaged, but I can fix this. So he taps it, and it turns out it's what's sealing the genie in the lamp. So as soon as he even breaks that, the genie pops up, and there's this naked guy on his floor with an iron cup, and he's like, what on earth? So from there, the genie's just kind of an arrogant jerk.
Okay.
And he starts working as a metalsmith, and he becomes more of a person over it. He's not as interesting as the Golem. He's a fine character, but not as much there.
So what's the title?
It's a really good book.
What's the title again?
The Golem and the Genie.
Okay.
The Golem and the Genie. Spelled, Genie is spelled J-I-N-N-I. My only real problem with it is, like a lot of books, it decides near the end that it's kind of a mystery novel and everything needs to be tied together real quick. And it has a villain it doesn't need. It's not a book that needed a villain. You could really just have these people living.
It sounds like the situation by itself is enough to be interesting, yeah.
It's interesting enough. And I was reading a little bit after the book, and she talks about how she was writing the last bit after giving birth, and how she got a lot of advice from her publishing house with the end of the book. I'm like, oh, that's why that happened.
Okay.
So
You know, I am literally I'm adding that to my wish list as we speak.
Same.
yeah, it's really good. It's long. It's like 850 pages, but it was a relatively quick read.
You know what? It sounds terrible, but I've heard enough people going nuts about what the hell's that new the cancer book that came out that just turned into a movie.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Have you guys read that? Because I was joking about.
No, I have too much experience with cancer recently.
Oh, okay.
So I don't do that.
I have history with it, but I'm also having problems with existential crisis, so I'm just like, I'm not sure
me
this
too.
is the book for me.
I'm a hypochondriac. I'll panic over like a bump on my
Well,
thumb.
this is the book that everyone's suddenly reading because the movie came out, or the movie's coming out, so everyone's reading it.
Yeah.
So I was joking with friends about like,
I hear
what
the
are
book's
you
real
reading?
good,
Fault in Our
so.
Stars, and everyone's like, yeah, no, I'm reading it. It's good. Shut up. And I'm like, maybe I should read it then. So
I'm actually contemplating if anyone listening has read it, I'd love to know what it's like, just because I don't personally know anyone who's read it.
I'm trying to think of how to put this. I haven't heard any spoilers, but I heard it's got a bit of a downer ending, and it's about 2 kids with cancer.
Yes, yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a whim. I'm gonna go out on a whim and say someone dies of something.
Yeah, no, I was reading a review of the movie in Entertainment Weekly of all things, and it got to the point where they're going to spoil the ending, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to read this because I think I might actually read the book because this actually sounds kind of cute. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
I hear it's actually a really good book. I just don't have it in me right now.
Yeah, if you watch the trailer, it gives you enough of just like it's about a girl with cancer and a guy who has gone into remissions.
Yeah, he lost his leg to cancer, but now he's
complete guess.
Yeah.
This is a complete guess. I'm going to say that the girl who thinks he's dying of cancer lives, and the boy she's dating who thinks he's living dies. That's my guess.
I think what happens. I think they adopt a pet that gets hit by a car, and the death has nothing to do with cancer. It's
that's even worse.
On top of the Sadness Sunday.
No, not the pet. Anything but the pet.
Because it can't be so simple enough as one of the characters who has cancer. Like, it can't be the chick who's already.
Why can't it be?
I don't know. That's one kind of.
Because I hear it's not the ending you expect.
What that book's take on. Anyway, so I feel bad for bringing it up in the first place, but anyway.
No, that's fine. I don't,
And
I don't
also,
read it, but...
I really do have to resist the urge to keep from calling it the Fart in Our Stars. Just not because I think I'm funny, but that's how my brain parses.
If it makes you feel better. When I first saw that title, I thought that's what it was called. I'm like, why are people so serious about this book? Oh, it's okay.
Farts in Our Stars.
Never mind.
Has it got a really weird font or something? I haven't looked at the cover recently.
No, I'm just in print. Like, just
it kind of does. It's a little bit
when
weird.
I saw the movie trailer, it says The Fault in Our Stars. And I just saw Fault is Fart, and I just kind of like. Well, also when you see something that depressing, I think for some people like me, your mind automatically starts trying to come up with funny things to kind of like kick back against the darkness. And so when you see like
does that to me.
about 2 kids dying, you're like, at the end you're like, aha, farts in our stars, ha ha ha, life isn't that bad after all. Oh boy, I'm never gonna get cancer, am I? Probably. So.
That's what my dad thought. Let's see how that worked out for him.
So what else? What do you got?
I can bring the box with him in it if you want. So
what else, guys?
Listen, suddenly turns to black comedy.
So since we're on black comedy, how about Amnesia: Machine for Pigs?
That's
a game I played.
Right?
That's the sequel to
Amnesia:
Dark Descent.
But it's not good.
I played it because I kind of loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh, really?
But I'm not a horror fan. People I hear who don't like it because it's not enough like the first one. It's not as scary for them. When you don't play any horror games, that game is a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. The reason I played it is because it was cheap, and I heard the story was actually very well done, and it was. It was surprisingly well done. I won't go into spoilers because it's the kind of thing that would sound really stupid if I just described it to you anyway, so I won't bother. But you wake up in this bed, and the room's completely dark, and the only thing you really know is that your kids are somewhere, and you need to find them. And then you get out of the bed, and you look around, and you realize there's a cage over the bed you were in.
What?
Okay.
A cage. There's a metal cage over the bed you were in. So you start wandering this mansion, And it's got all these like creepy, weirdly violent paintings on the walls. And it's spooky as can be. And I spent probably most of the game in this mansion. It's only like the first like fifth of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I was constantly alt-tabbing out because I just couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
So finally you get out of the mansion and you end up in this meat processing facility. So you can probably guess where this is going.
Yep.
It's a Lunchables factory.
You're
Do they have
closer than you
Lunchables
might
in the
think.
UK? Does that joke even make any sense?
We have Lunchables.
Okay, good. Okay.
I'm sorry for that. We apologize on behalf of America. So you get.
See, that's what America
You get to
wanted
this-
doing with its freedom. We want our freedom from the UK just so we could go off and
And we
invent Lunchables.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, sorry. Go ahead, Jacob.
It was our revenge. So you get to this meat processing facility, and you grab this can, and you get this journal entry because most of a lot of the game's story is told through journal entries that kind of pop up throughout the game and tell you what you're supposed to be doing, which is what I don't know how I feel about that. That could have been better. But you get this journal entry, and it's telling you about how this rancid liquid just smells like the worst thing ever, but how they've gotten everything to run off of it. So you go, you get some, you put it in a car. No, I'm getting a little confused. It's been about a month. You go and you fill up this empty can at the tank, and all of a sudden the lights start flickering, and you hear this pig. And out of the corner of the screen, you see this monster run up across the walkway. So you just start pulling this plank as fast as you can. And finally, you stick it in this car so you can go into the church graveyard. And in the grave, if you go just a little bit to the left, what you see is this stitched-together corpse that kind of looks like a pig, but you can tell it's human, and there's bolts sticking out of it. And I'm like, I don't want to go in the church. You're not going to be safe in the church. They are going to go on holy ground. There's a corpse right there of one of these monsters. Why? This church is not... Take the car and go. Your kids are dead. Your kids are dead. They're gone. So you go in this church. It's a whole nightmare scenario. It's got one sequence called The Nest that is one of the best pieces of environmental storytelling I've seen in a game. Like, it's really smart. It's really well done. And I kind of hate it because it scared the crap out of me, and it was really stressful, and it kind of ruined my weekend because it's a 7-hour game. It's only 4 hours, but I spent so much time alt-tabbing out trying not to have a panic attack that it turned into 7.
Yeah.
If you find it cheap enough, and if you think you can handle it, I highly recommend it. I really do.
Can it be modded? Can you mod
right.
it so it turns into a machine for pugs, and it's just very cute little pugs? Or even better, a hug machine for pugs.
That would kind of change the
whole
story.
tenor of the game.
It might not be great for the theme. So, one last thing I'll say about it is it's another in a long line of games that seem to be better at being Bioshock than the first Bioshock because it tackles a lot of the themes of the Ritz and so on, like that kind of... What was I going for?
Like class warfare?
Class warfare, yes. It handles that a lot better than Bioshock ever did. I won't go into details, but it handles that with a lot more nuance than I expected. And yeah, I highly recommend it. I was surprised. A lot of people don't like it. I loved it. The music is just astoundingly horrifying. I should pull up a track at some point and send you a link.
Have you played the original game? Because I think I got that in one of the Humble Bundles, and I haven't touched it because I
have played a little bit of it.
Yeah, when I was playing Gone
Home,
there's a bit where I turned a corner and there was a pipe in the ceiling, and it scared the shit out of me. So I'm not sure this would be a good game for me.
Yeah, I didn't play it. The mechanics were too scary for me. That's one of the reasons I was willing to play the new one, is they cut out a lot of that stuff. Right. So for the exact reason a lot of people don't like it was the reason I was willing to spend $11 and buy it.
No, that's good. I'm glad to see they had a game that was more palatable to you, even if it kind of alienated other people.
Yeah, and I don't have anything against the first Amnesia. Like, more power to the people who like it. But I'm kind of glad they did something with that in the next one. And that wasn't Machine for Pigs was not made by the people who made the first
Yeah,
Amnesia.
no,
It was made by
I
people
forgot
who
what
made
the
Dear
original team
Esther.
was working on, but yeah, that was
Chinese
they
room.
brought in a different.
They're working
yeah.
on Soma. The first team is working on that game, Soma.
Never even heard of that.
Soma, it's
Is
another
that the
horror
hero
game.
from Kingdom Hearts?
Sora.
Sora.
Oh, okay. I hate
Kind of
that.
the same. I know that.
Fuck that.
Too.
I
I kind of like those games. I'm kind of excited for the 2.5 HD version because Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is secretly one of the best hack and slash games ever made, even if the story is dumb as can be. Yeah, it's got a really interesting system. It's kind of a mix of a combat like Kingdom Hearts or a Zelda and a card game. Because all your actions are selected for these decks you construct. And it's not random. You select the order they pop up in, but it still scratches that same kind of itch. So on to a more present topic than Amnesia, Machine for Pigs, or even worse, Kingdom Hearts. Professor Snape followed me on Twitter because I mentioned a spoiler about how Professor Snape was secretly Dumbledore's lover on Twitter.
Mom, and now he's in charge of protecting you for the next 10 years. And then...
Oh, he can have my mom. That's fine.
Oh wow! Okay. Happy Mother's Day, everybody! Happy Father's Day, everybody!
Dad's gone. Mom needs someone. It might as well be Alan Rickman.
Oh yeah, you know what? As long as if it's not Snape, but if it's just Alan Rickman, that's not the worst dad substitute you could have.
Okay. So, what sounds most interesting? What do you want me to talk about next? Transistor, Wolfenstein, Minecraft, Legend of Zelda: Minish Cap?
Maxwell, do you have anything? What have you been up to? We'll try to mix this up a little bit.
Yeah, anything.
Anything. Talk about something, please. Go on.
What's your cat been up to? Something.
Well, I played Transistor as well, so I guess we can talk about that a little bit. I really enjoyed that. I'm still uncertain about the ending.
I am too. I love the game overall, but yeah.
So I guess there'd probably be. Do you want to do spoilers for Transistor, or shall we?
You guys can, because I don't care that much.
Okay.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that after the podcast. We'll see where we're at after that.
Yeah.
And we'll do that after that, so people don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Just because I don't really want to spoil anyone.
I think it's interesting to talk about.
Yeah, but I think I'll leave it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been not me so much as Kerry has been playing some of the Star Citizen. They've got some of this dogfighting stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually play some of that?
Yeah, you can play some of it now. I think it's still
$100 to get in by a ship.
I already have a ship, so does he. So we backed the thing. So we've got I think Kerry's got like 3 ships, and I've got 2. And
jeez.
Those
ships are going to be the new Bitcoin. Mark my word. You're going to be able to sell those for like 2,000 a piece.
Yeah. So I've got we've got. He backed it and he gave me ships, so I look like I'm a backer, but I'm not.
Oh, that's very nice.
I get a lot of the bonuses backers do. And the main thing that's been available recently is the hangar module, which has been available for quite a while, where you can just go into a hangar and you can go inside your ships.
Exciting.
Well, yeah, but when you can literally do nothing else, when the game's not out, you can just see that you technically, you've bought this ship. You have bought a picture, essentially. Here, you can actually see this is what your ship's going to look like instead.
Yeah, you've bought a model.
Enough you can walk around it and do anything?
Yeah, you can go inside them. I've got an Aurora LX, which is the highest classification of that particular kind of ship.
Oh, really? Nice. Yeah.
A lot of ships have different variations on them, and this one's. The difference is really in terms of how it flies and how it is used, more so than how it looks. But you can go inside it, you can go and sit in the cockpit, and you go and sit in. There's like a bed area at the back, but they're all quite small ships. But Kerry's got one where it's got 3 people in the cockpit, where you have like 1 pilot and 2 sort of navigators, and it's got 2 gun turrets, 1 up and 1 down. So you can go into a chair and drop down, or go into the chair and go up into the gun turrets.
Can you have two gunners at the same time?
Yep.
Very nice. Very Millennium Falcon-y, yeah.
Yeah, it is quite. So you can have a lot of different people piloting just one ship.
That's really nice, yeah.
Yeah. So that seemed to be I think it's been a little bit buggy to begin with. Obviously, it's brand new.
Yeah.
The proper game doesn't come out until like next year or something, right?
Yeah.
Proper game won't come out until 2020. The way they're going.
God knows they have enough money to make sure it gets gets finished though.
They really do. Hang on, I'm just gonna check what they've got right now.
Isn't it like $14 million or something like that? It's in the double digits.
Yeah. Let's check what it is.
Although for a game, that's still like, you know, compared to like something like Destiny, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Destiny's made by Bungie.
$401,448.
46. Okay.
Wait, how much?
$46,401,048.
Okay, that actually is a lot. Okay, yeah, that's a decent amount. Yeah.
I want to say I heard they got a bunch of investor money too, brought them up to over.
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's what I'm still thinking about getting a gaming PC by the end of the year, especially with not a bunch of console games coming out this year, and that would be in preparation for Star Citizen. That would be a good justification for trying to pick up a gaming PC sooner than later.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not interested in that kind of sci-fi, but yeah, I'll check it out when it's free.
I like anything that's kind of open world. Like that. I do kind of like that kind of sci-fi, especially if it's going to be this big open world where there's no separate servers. Everyone's just kind of like running around together. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
But it'll be a while before it's actually properly playable or anything there.
Can you name your ship so it's not just the Aurora LX?
Yes, you can name your ships, but I think I don't know if there's going to be any kind of block on naming your ship the Millennium Falcon, because they'll probably be. There isn't. Kerry's yelling at me for the There isn't.
He isn't. I'm flying it.
There's literally going to be like 1,000 Millennium Falcons running around.
Yes. Yeah, and then it'll be Millennium Falcons with ones instead of L's.
Yeah. Millennium Falcon 420, XXS. Yeah, Millennium Falcon
75.
Yeah. I would just want to have like the HMS Mud Flaps or something. Like I want to get really ridiculous about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I learn anything from playing some of the Star Trek MMO, is that people call their ships literally anything. It's just ridiculous.
I need to go back and play some of that Star Trek MMO too. I never really got far enough to really do much with my ships. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up upgrading my ship several times. I had a decent-sized ship when I stopped playing.
What kind of ship did you have? Like, what was the class? Like, what was the?
Oh God, I can't remember.
I just had the Wrath of Khan ship, like the saucer with the two little nacelles. I didn't have anything super special or anything.
Yeah. I can't remember what the ship classification is, but it was a really oval-shaped dish. Like a long, thin oval with long nacelles at the end.
Oh, so you had like this kind of super futuristic kind of like Enterprise thing.
Fairly, yeah. It was quite a cool one.
Oh, so you put some time into that game, because I know like when you first start off, they kind of give you old like motion picture era ships.
Yeah.
And as you build up stuff, you
can
call like futuristic,
like 3 ships. I'm not sure.
Very nice.
You can kind of choose sort of what type of ship you want to go for. But
who
I
was your
tend to play as a
character?
healer. My character was a Trill.
Okay, very nice. I was a Bajoran lady.
But yeah.
Well, good for you, Bill.
No, I tried my best to replicate Major Kira, and I fucked up. But you know.
Okay.
I like that Major Kira. Yeah. If you can combine her with Gadget from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, oh.
Oh dear, some sort of dark fantasy world we're going into here now.
There should just be a Bill Rule 34 tracker that just tracks how long it is from Bill saying something to that thing existing on the internet.
Oh yeah, I can will. That's my dark superpowers. I can will any Rule 34 into existence. Well, granted, like the internet, 4chan takes care of that without even having to need the superpower. But
yeah, it's just kind of an automated Rule 34 generator.
I should look up to see if there's Boy Howdy Rule 34 yet.
Oh please,
I need to turn this webcam off. I gotta turn this webcam off. There's enough artists who listen to this podcast that someone might do it as a joke, and I don't know if I like that idea.
You know what? What I would like to see is Rule 34 Boy Howdy fan art that is me and Annie fucking the giant dinosaurs that fuck cars.
And there's just a pumpkin off next to
have you guys seen, there's, someone's got this fetish where it's the female lions from The Lion King blown up to like 1,000 times their normal size, so they're Godzilla size, and they fart on cities.
Okay then.
I've seen this on Flickr of all things, where this person will take, like this big aerial shot of like Hong Kong, and then like a picture of like Nala from The Lion King, and have fart stink waves coming out of her butt, flooding the whole city. And that
All
is.
right.
How do you discover that's your thing?
Well,
How do you come to that conclusion?
The best thing is I have that as it's one of the screensaver options on my TV now. So when people are over,
Just Ryan's
that
farting
picture will
on
occasionally
Tokyo.
pop up, and they're like, "What?" They think
I haven't
hate it.
seen that option on my Apple TV, strangely
Yeah.
enough.
So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You guys were saying.
Apple's really branching out. I have now blocked Professor Snape on Twitter. So if I'm dead in the week, you know why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since we're doing Transistor after... Where is that? So notes. After the podcast, I guess you want to hear about Wolfenstein?
Can do.
Maybe?
Yes.
Bill?
You
You're
broke
not
up there for a
interested?
second, but I agree with whatever it is that you just said.
Oh, did I? Okay. Okay, well, you can send me the check later. It will need at least 6
Okay.
digits.
I'll pay you $6 to
so-
talk about Wolfenstein.
Okay, you're my Steam friend, so just give me whatever you want off my list.
Okay.
So Wolfenstein is a surprisingly good game. I did not expect anything from that, but the data reviews came out, and they said it was a surprisingly solid story about an alternate history, World War II, where Nazis won, and that it was well told and not horribly written, and still a Wolfenstein game. I was like curious enough that I just bought it right then and there, and then found out it was a 50 gig download, and it took a week to download.
Wow.
So, well, no, I had it by that Saturday. I started downloading it Tuesday.
Oh no.
Wow.
It was only 44 gigs to download, but once you unpack it, it's 50 gigs. So that did not go on my SSD.
Do you have a level cap? Do you have like a download level, like a broadband level cap?
No, I do not. But there's
See,
other people on my internet, so it took a while.
Well, we have a 200 gig bandwidth cap, so we have to be really careful about that shit.
Ouch.
Yeah,
That sucks.
that's
my
Comcast
internet
for
is
you.
so slow though.
Yeah, see, we have
my-
lightning fast internet, but we've got that level cap. Anyway, I'm sorry, you were saying, yeah.
Before Bill interrupted me again, no.
I know.
So, I guess I'll just get into the story, because that's the interesting part. You shoot things, you can dual wield guns. If you've ever wanted to equip 2 sniper rifles at the same time and realize you couldn't zoom in with them, so why were you dual wielding sniper rifles? This is the game for you. So, I'm trying to think of where to start. I'll start at the beginning. The first hour is really boring. It's very boring. It's the most generic war shooter you can think of. But the interesting thing is, once you get to the end, you have a choice of 2 characters you can pick from who have sort of followed you up until that point. You can choose the young, new recruit who has a lot of potential and no personality, or you can choose the Irish or possibly Scottish. I'll be honest, I can't tell. I'm racist. Guy played by Balthier from Final Fantasy XII. I don't know why they have this choice, because anyone in their right mind is going to choose the funny Irish/Scottish guy played by Balthier, who I did not realize was played by Balthier until I saw the credits, and I recognized Gideon Emery's
if
name.
Annie were here, she'd be squealing about that, because she loves that guy.
I know, but Annie's dead.
Balthier was he was the bearded guy, right?
No, you're thinking of Bosk.
He's the.
Balthier was the Han Solo
pirate.
type with the bunny friend lady. The Sky Pirate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, the bearded guy from
Yeah,
Final
he's in a
Fantasy
lot of
XII is
stuff.
called Bosk?
Yes, Bosk. It's been a while. I mean, the other guy's named Balthier. Why is Bosk what's throwing you?
Well, no, because Bosk is
There's
about
a guy
the
named
Star
Van.
Wars.
Oh, is he? I
Yeah.
know Yasumi Matsuno is a big
B-O-S-S-K.
Star Wars fan.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were talking about Wolfenstein.
BSCH. B-A-S-C-H.
No, everyone seems to be agreeing that
so
Wolfenstein is surprisingly good.
It is surprisingly good. The story is very well told. The soundtrack is fantastic. I was
Yes, yeah,
surprised.
keep
It's
that
done by
in
some heavy metal dude.
Yeah.
But it's done by some heavy metal dude, but it's just real kind of subdued, almost folksy in spot. The heaviest it gets is like psychedelic.
Mhm.
It's weird. I can't really talk about the story because talking about it kind of spoils what makes it interesting, but I will bring up a few problems I had with it. There's a concentration camp scene that, while surprisingly tasteful, is kind of unnecessary, because in your game about shooting Nazis for fun, you do not need a concentration camp scene.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. Especially in a game where the word Jew is never said, ever, anywhere in the game. I could not find one mention of the word Jew.
Well, is the
mention of Hitler.
Is the concentration camp? Is it Jewish? Does it have a lot of Jews in it, or is it just like
it's everyone. At this point, it's 20 years into the future.
They weren't necessarily. I mean, even though the concentration camps were mostly filled.
I think it's more of a labor camp, to be honest, but it plays off a lot of concentration camp.
But when you hear the word concentration camp, you specifically think Jews in a camp. Yeah, you're not thinking about
and they're playing off that
gypsies or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were in there too. It is all minorities in the camp. There's a black guy named Bombaste.
Oh yeah, that's pretty great.
So really stupid. So there's a character who is supposed to be Jewish in this camp, and he turns out to be a major character in the game. He's supposed to be Jewish. No one ever says the word Jew. Hitler is mentioned once.
Does he just like eat a bagel? Like that's the way you know he's Jewish. Like, or his name is like Animal.
I don't know what his name is actually.
Oh wow, good story.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of how I can put this without sounding like making it sound like I or the game is racist. But he's kind of, he's Jewish. I don't think the game is racist.
Well, if he's acting Jewish, I mean, if he's kind of like,
he's got the accent. The character is designed to kind of look that way, but I don't want to. When you say that, people have an image of a Jewish stereotype.
Some people are just Jewish. It's totally cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem with him is
shit.
Yeah, which I'm bringing into the game. I'm not necessarily going to fault the game for that. But the problem with this character is, you can tell he's Jewish. They never say the word Jew, and he's kind of one of a group of secret Jewish scientists who have all kinds of crazy crap, and that kind of plays into Zionist conspiracy theories about Jews controlling the world. Yeah. And it kind of plays with that, and I'm like, game, I know you want to just be fun, and you're kind of succeeding, but maybe not Zionist conspiracy theory stuff. Even if you're portraying it as positive, as just a fun kind of adventure thing. It's a little unnecessary.
Well, is it because like the Jews are like part of the rebellion? Like that's kind of like they're I don't know. Is that their take on it?
Well, it kind of ends up that way. So the reason they have all this tech is they believe that you can get closer to God through the pursuit of knowledge, which is fine. My understanding is that's actually part of Judaism. That's fine. But they have all these like secret mega weapons, and they, I guess, have space technology, and the Nazis find some of this, and that's how they have a moon base. Which, by the way, 2 levels after the concentration camp, you go to the stinking moon. You go to the moon right after.
Yeah, I heard about you go to the moon. Yeah.
Like, it's a goofy game, but it's a goofy game that takes itself seriously and kind of succeeds at it. It's worth the money. The only other problem I have with it is there's kind of a coded gay villain who's the boy toy of the real villain of the game. It's weird. Yeah. Like, there's just a few things that are
Death's Head or something?
Off. Death's Head is played to be the real villain, but he's not. He's in like 2 scenes. Okay. He's creepy, he works, but he's not really the main villain for most of the game. He's just kind of this force you hear about. So, yeah, it's well worth playing.
I'm definitely thinking about picking that up, yeah. Maybe next month.
If you want, it's super long, too. That's like a 12-hour game, and there's enough changes in the second storyline that's actually worth going through, because I actually went back and remade that choice. Yeah. And if you pick the guy who isn't played by Balfour, so I don't know why you would do this, if you pick him anyways, you get to the base where all the characters are, because there's this kind of hub area where you can talk to characters and all that. And there's a surprisingly good number of female characters in this, too, I'll say. If you pick the boring guy and you go to this base, you see this black guitarist with kind of an afro, and you find out his name is Jay? Yeah. So Jimi Hendrix is just basically one of your companions. You don't fight with him or anything, but Jimi Hendrix is just in this base with a guitar.
Although I guess why like American characters like that would be running around occupied Europe.
There's a bit of resistance. This whole thing's in Berlin, but there is a bit of and Jimi Hendrix was in Europe for a lot of his career.
Yeah, I'm not saying he never left America or anything like that, but it's funny that So but yeah, we Maxwell Motley just pointed out on the show notes that she needs to get out of here in about an hour, so we're gonna have to start cutting some of the
so Wolfenstein, pick it up. Let's get the Geek Week in review.
Maxwell, did you have anything else? Did you have anything else?
No, not this week. My week's been pretty much an uneventful week. It's just been mostly.
Any of you guys played Tomodachi Life?
So was mine.
I
have not.
It's super goddamn cute. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but it really is just like The Sims for the 3DS, except you're playing with people that you know, which is really weird. I got far enough into the game this week. Oh, I don't think I have any listeners in the game, so at least I don't have to worry about like falling in love with Maxwell Motley or Jacob. But it's really weird because like I've played enough now that all the characters are falling in love with each other, and so. Oh man, so like there's all these inappropriate unions I keep trying to stomp down because I don't want like it's weird because like I want the people who are in love with each other in real life to be in love in the game. It's weird to have people like, oh my god. And also I've introduced a whole bunch of new fictional characters, and so my housemate Joshin, he totally fell head over heels for Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black. And I had to,
I watched that too. Season 2 is pretty good.
I would have let that go, but his wife is also in the game, and I want him to hook up with his wife and not with Crazy Eyes. And so I had to shoot him down because he was like, "Oh my god,
Just let him be happy, man.
I can't sleep. I'm so in love with Crazy Eyes." And so I had to tell him that it wasn't going to work, and so he got super depressed. And I spent half an hour like teaching him how to cook and do all these other weird missions to make him not sad anymore. It's a very goddamn silly game. It's very cute though. Yeah, somebody somebody did fall in love with me. Oh, it was Jen Frank. The internet's Jen Frank.
Poor Jen Frank.
Yeah, I took you know what? I thought I had taken a photo of it. I was gonna post it to Twitter just to make just to goose her a little bit, but then it turns out I took the wrong screen cap and I didn't have evidence of that. But it's a little creepy, but it's still kind of funny at the same time. But yeah, which is Bill Mudrin's whole way of life is
that's
a little bit
creepy,
but still kind of funny. I love to masturbate in toothpaste.
Okay.
Good times. Anyway, I'm going to steer this podcast in a different direction.
Why you only have an hour left to go?
So
I don't want to be here for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I guess it's probably time for the Geek Week in Review.
Yeah. Do you want to take a break first?
Yeah, you guys need to take a break first or anything? Do anything?
Great, we did this titling first. I'm fine. Whoever wants to go.
Okay,
I'm gonna go get a quick glass of water.
Okay, so
I'm going to send. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a video, Bill. It's only 2 minutes 30 seconds. It's an animated short. I think you guys might like it. So I sent you a message. I don't know if you got it. I'll be back.
Okay, let's see.
Who knows? How does this?
Oh, I've not been looking at the Q&A. Have we got any questions?
I have it, but there doesn't seem to be any questions as far as I can see.
Oh, thank God, we've driven everyone away.
Oh dear.
I was kind of horrified for a moment to think people may even try to chat at us, and we completely ignored them.
It's like, no.
Oh my God!
Who cares?
Oh man. Yeah, thanks again for being part of the podcast. It's always good to talk to you.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get to catch up earlier this week. We should try and do it again soon.
Oh yeah, no, that's. Were you busy or anything like that?
Busy, forgetful.
Yeah, because I was around on Thursday, but I didn't want to pester you if you were doing other stuff too. So, well, I figured it's if we're both free, that's fine. But I don't want to be that guy who's like, where were you at? It's not like I was waiting around. I was just online messing around.
Hey, I'm normally that guy. I'm normally like, Bill, do you want to chat?
Bill, what's up?
Do you want to chat?
Well, usually, we usually chat right when I get home from like running errands and going to the food shopping for the week. So I'm always like willing to like, oh, let's hang out. So yeah, so I was just online to see if you were around. But like, yeah, like again, yeah, I'm fine with hanging out. But yeah, like I don't. It sucks to be that pestering person. So I never want to be like that. So it was
but
no
you
big deal.
basically make.
Okay, I'm back.
This is a cute little short.
Did you get that message?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. Did you watch it, Maxwell?
I don't think I got it.
Do you have a?
I guess the message just came to me. Yeah.
Okay. Can you send it to her? I got that on a different computer.
So many computers.
What about tampons?
Popsicles.
Oh God. What am I about to watch?
Wait, actually, maybe it is. No, it's really good. It's a really nice sort. It's from a collection called Ghost Stories. Some people I know did.
It almost seems a little bit like Emily Carroll art, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
Have you watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
At some point, I'll find some way to send it to you.
Cool. There is.
Okay.
So shall we be back now? Are we back?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to the Geek Week. Oh my, Maxwell just fucked it up. We can't do the podcast no more. It's almost like us talking from one side of the earth to the other. Sometimes our timing gets a little confused.
Slightly, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why I feel okay. Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to the podcast.
Hello. Why am I still here?
Okay. Welcome back to the Geek Week in Review. We're back to talk about stuff that happened this week. Actually, there's not a whole lot of interesting stuff. There's stuff that happened this week, but none of it I really cared about that much, which is kind of like that's one of the problems with Bill curating the Geek Week in Review is that. Oh no, actually, you guys added a whole bunch of shit. Well, scratch that. Fuck. Originally, I only had 3 things on there. Now there's 12. Okay. So, Rick Mayall died this week. Do you guys know or care about Rick Mayall?
Yeah, he's a bit of
I vaguely knew who he was.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a legend here, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's really awful.
What's he a legend for?
He's in so many different comedy shows in the UK. It's kind of obviously because we're a small place. Lots of comedy and stuff gets quite incestuous. Lots of actors get across it. So he's been in Blackadder. He's been in. There was a show called Bottom. He's in I think it's the Young Ones. I can never remember what.
Yeah, I knew him from the Young Ones. That's what he played. Rick on. Well, his name was Rick, but he was also playing a character called Rick on the Young Ones. That's
I think
what
he's
I
one
really
of the
know
creators of that too.
Oh yeah, it was him and Ade Edmondson. They created that in Bottom. He played Drop Dead Fred. That's how most Americans know him.
Yeah. I recognized him from that. Sadly, I recognized him from the clips I've seen of that online.
I forgot he played Peeves for 10 seconds in Harry Potter too.
Yep.
Did
He's
he?
in the background in one scene where he's screaming at somebody or
Who
something.
wasn't in Harry Potter? What British actor wasn't in Harry
But now
Potter?
he's actually a ghost.
Yeah.
So it seems that he may have died he died suddenly. His wife just said something about a couple days before he did pass. He had a cardiac event after going on a run. So it sounds like at first, whenever you hear somebody mysteriously dying out of nowhere, especially someone that young, my first thought was, oh my god, maybe it was suicide. But it sounds like he may have just died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
But he was young. He was only 56 years old.
Yeah, which is the same age as my parents, so that's really weird for me.
Same age as my dad, actually.
But yeah, Rick Mayall was goddamn fucking hilarious. He just always kind of pop-eyed and crazy and just, yeah. If people ever want to see any of his work, I would suggest go. I think it's all the one thing that I would recommend seeing. I think it's up on YouTube is the Young Ones episode called Bambi. Just look up Young Ones Bambi. And that is one of the funniest half hours of television ever, and he was a huge part of it.
Something about you telling me to go look up something called Bambi just terrifies me.
Oh, it's great. Bambi actually shows up at the end. And also, dude's head gets cut off in a tunnel, and dudes get squashed by a giant donut. Mm-hmm. There's a talking sock. The Young One's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so. Have you seen much Bottom?
I used to watch a lot of it actually when I was younger. It was really weird. It was really funny.
I only saw an episode because when they put out the Young Ones on DVD about 10 years ago, they put just as a bonus feature the first episode of Bottom, and that's the only Bottom I've ever seen. But yeah, it was interesting to see from the UK people were talking more about Bottom than they were the Young Ones. So
yeah. I think because Young Ones is. I guess it's sort of ingrained into us. We don't really talk about it as much as anything else because it's sort of just always there. It's like talking about Monty Python. You don't. It's.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's kind of cultural wallpaper at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Bottom is something to talk about. It's maybe not quite as popular as the others, but it was more current, and it was the one that a lot of us probably grew up watching. Especially from my generation, because I was born in '87, so a lot of this was kind of around that time or earlier than that. So I kind of missed most of that, being current and being quite so relevant. So Bottom was a lot more relevant for me growing up. But
I saw on YouTube people were passing on a very timely link of a bunch of Rick Mayall commercials he did for Nintendo back in the '90s.
What?
Yeah.
He did one for. Well, it's not called Star Fox in the UK. It's called Star Wing, and a whole bunch of stuff like Tetris.
Weird.
for the Game Boy and all kinds of, like, I guess he was like Nintendo spokesman in the UK in like 1995 for like a year. And so he did all these commercials, and yeah, I didn't realize he had actually had an accident where he was on a motorbike or something like that, and it rolled over, and he like almost like broke his neck too. So he was kind of fucked up before in the past too, but I don't know. So that sucks. He's dead.
Celebrities stop riding motorcycles. It just never seems to end well for them.
I know, if you're a celebrity, why not just stay at home and watch TV? What the fuck are you doing going out and doing stuff? Especially if you're in action movies and stuff like that. You think you'd get enough adventure just from doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but okay, his next line item is Guillermo del Toro. Despite the fact that the Pacific Rim sequel has not been greenlit yet, he is working on the script for the sequel. Do you guys care about the Pacific Rim stuff?
I never saw Pacific Rim.
It's good.
I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who didn't
It's on
like it.
Netflix, isn't it?
If it's not now, it should be, because it's almost exactly a year old. Yeah, that's when movies like that usually start showing up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was very it was kind of daft in places. It was ridiculous.
Oh, it was super,
but I had a lot
goofy.
of fun watching it.
Yeah.
So that alone makes it a good film in my eyes. So I'd be quite interested to see what they do with a sequel to it.
They kind of set up. They were talking about something like the sequel would be like, there's a part in the movie, I know Jacob hasn't seen it, but there's a point where human scientists, he like mind melds with some of the evil aliens at some point, and I think there was talk about how the evil aliens might end up, there's going to be some kind of flip-flopping where the aliens in the next one might be the good guys, or like the aliens end up having to work together with the giant robots to fight like other aliens or something like that. So
yeah, I heard something about that, but I heard they actually kind of scrapped that because people like the scientist character too much, and they didn't want to make him a villain.
Which is funny, because scientist character actually wasn't that interesting. But well, I kind of wonder.
That's just what I've heard secondhand.
They were talking about Pacific Rim made a decent amount of money, but not so much that it may not necessarily. It wasn't automatically guaranteed a sequel.
Yeah.
But I wonder, with the success of Godzilla now, I wonder if that may justify them actually putting Pacific Rim out there just to kind of like ride that wave of kaiju stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if we actually get a sequel to that. But the end. What else?
What is the AVGN movie?
The Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
Oh God.
Have you guys seen the Angry Video Game Nerd?
Personally, no.
He seems fine on his own, but I don't know why. I've never watched him. I've heard him. I don't know why he needs a movie.
He's been around for a better part of a decade. I only found out about him like last year. The Angry Video Game Nerd is this guy in, like, I think he's in New Jersey, who just he created this character called the Angry Video Game Nerd, who just angrily reviews old Nintendo games and just like bitches about them and does little skits about that. And he became like a pretty popular internet like sub celebrity, like somewhat like C-list celebrity. And I guess last year he had a Kickstarter to create the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. And he's been working on that for the last year, and that is finally going to come out next month. Well, the only reason I really care about this... What's that?
It's weird. I know he has a game, which I saw on Steam one day. I'm like, what?
Which is mostly pretty terrible, but what are you going to do?
I would assume so. I mean...
But the interesting thing is the Angry Video Game Nerd is played by this guy named James Rolfe, who is this kind of like homebrewed movie maker. He almost kind of reminds me, if you guys have ever seen American Movie... that documentary about the guy who's trying to make a movie called Coven. He's kind of like that, kind of like homebrew film guy who's made 1,000 movies with just like himself and his friends in his hometown. And he didn't really strike it big until he created this Angry Video Game Nerd movie, this Angry Video Game Nerd character. But now he's using that character as an opportunity to make, like, for him, what would be a big budget movie because he got a Kickstarter and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to see somebody.
I mean, I guess good for him. It works.
Yeah, it's and you see, from everything I've always heard, he seems like a really sweet guy. So this is more of this is a pretty indulgent note from Bill because no one else cares about Angry Video Game. I just wanted to
wait till you get to the next note.
Yeah. So. But yeah. So what is this? You guys explain this because I don't know what this is.
I just assumed there would be something about some kind of sci-fi franchise I don't care about, so I just put in something about Star Trek Wars Effect Scapegoat. Put in there.
Well, of course, there's got to be Star Wars in this news this week because that's what Boy Howdy's slowly turning into. Harrison Ford.
Well, Mego was never mentioned, so we can just break that chain.
Yeah. But yeah, Harrison Ford done fucked himself up on the set of Star Wars this week.
It's almost like he's old.
Yeah, that's the terrible thing. Is this the most predictable? Well, specifically, he didn't fuck himself up. It sounds like someone closed the Millennium Falcon door on his ankle?
Oh.
Yeah. He broke his ankle.
Yeah, well, I heard he just hurt his ankle. Right before we started recording, I just looked up to see how hurt he had been. It sounds like he did break his ankle. That sounds fucked up. And they were talking about supposedly he had like a chest injury. That's the rumors, is that he had a chest injury and had to get chest X-rays. Who the fuck actually knows what happened? But man, yeah, that's
something involving a Wookiee costume and a car. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's something about how he may have hurt his pelvis too, which sounds like the most old man injury you could possibly get. But yeah, that's I don't know.
I hope he's okay.
And supposedly he's supposed to be like one of the major. He's supposed to be one of the major characters in that movie too. It's not like he's only supposed to show up for 10 seconds and then like that's it. He's supposed to have like action scenes. So I don't know what the hell they're gonna do about that now. But yeah. So
rewrite the action scenes.
Well, no, he becomes like Professor X, and he just like runs around a floating hover chair. You know what happens? Turns out the Millennium Falcon's pilot chair has like hover stuff on the bottom, and he can just like disengage it and just float around. And it's got like little lasers and stuff. And he's like pew 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 pew. That'd be great. Or maybe he just rides around on R2-D2's back.
There you
go. R2-D2 just flies around. Yeah. On a related note, the live-action Star Wars TV show would have been about young Han Solo.
Because that worked for Indiana Jones.
I know. Well, yeah. And that was another TV show produced by George Lucas. So this was, what happened here was, did you guys ever hear about, for the last decade, George Lucas was talking about, before he sold Star Wars to Disney, he was going to try to create a live-action Star Wars TV show?
Yeah, no, I
heard about it.
Yeah. But so no one knew what it was.
George Lucas
he just made vague references to the fact that it was supposed to involve bounty hunters or something like that. But yeah, they just announced this week that somebody who had worked on some of the scripts came out and said, yeah, the main character would have been young Han Solo. It would have been like a 20-year-old Han Solo running around the galaxy doing stuff.
Which I guess makes sense, but that's a little boring.
Well, it would have showed like how he won the Millennium Falcon from.
He let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
How else does he win it?
And it would have been like, there would have been like a young Lando, and I don't know. But, I mean, that would have been cool. I mean, as long as it wasn't. The funny thing is, the young Indiana Jones show was not necessarily that terrible. The stuff with the older Indiana Jones is actually pretty watchable. And if you got past the fact that it wasn't an action-adventure show, it was a historical drama. But the stuff with the little kid Indiana Jones was fucking terrible, and that just kind of ruined everything else about the show. Like, oh.
Who played older Indiana Jones in that?
It was the guy who played Powder.
Powder? Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen Powder?
No, what is this?
No.
Powder was a movie, like, was it like the mid-90s? Was a movie about this, it was like this alien who goes to high school, except his skin is powder white and he's got no hair. And he's supposed to be
this Twilight.
Yeah, yeah, he's just this magical being that brings light, and happiness to everyone whose life he enters. Turns out the movie was written and directed by a child molester.
Good time.
Okay.
And so that's the legacy of that movie. But the guy who played Powder was the guy who played older young Indiana Jones. And maybe he's dead now. Maybe he shot himself. Who knows?
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, skipping back.
So let's look at Korra.
Legend of Korra Book 3 trailer was released this week. There's no release date yet, but it sounds like rumors are that the next season of Legend of Korra will come out in August.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what happened with the trailer?
No, what happened?
The trailer that came out first was actually a fan trailer they made from leaked footage. So it had like all kinds of spoilers for the. Yeah, it has all kinds of spoilers for how the book is gonna go. So they put out the actual trailer afterwards because they wanted to have something to kind of keep people from seeing the fan trailer.
I think I saw
a whole bunch of what seemed like major spoilers.
So what I heard had happened was actually like 3 or 4 episodes from the middle of the next season got leaked online somehow.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they're being translated.
Yeah, episodes 3 to 6.
No, it was some late season stuff from what I heard.
But,
no, I heard it was the same thing. It was like episodes, like it was like middle of the season. Well, those seasons are only like 12 episodes long, so that's kind of the middle of the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can tell there's big spoilers in that when you know.
I haven't even seen that stuff, so yeah, I don't know what the spoilers are. As from the official trailer, you get to see Zuko's back.
Yeah.
You get to see
that wasn't in the fan trailer.
Yeah,
no,
and
it's the actual. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see there's like an Earth Queen with like crazy long, super golden fingernails, which looks kind of cool. And I don't know, there's more Earth. There seems to be more. Like, I don't know if they're airbending acolytes or if they're other actual airbenders now. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It looks. I don't know.
I have high hopes. Season 2 got better as it went on, but the first half was a real disappointment.
Yeah, I think I'm quite looking forward to this season 3, mostly because it's all being worked on by the better of the two studios.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's the two studios.
And that hurt a lot of storytelling last season.
Yeah, and I think I was getting really tired of Korra in season 2, right up until the bit where it starts to get with the about the first Avatar, that sort of story. And after that, it really took a turn.
Yeah, that two-parter was real good. That was some really good television.
That was amazing.
But that doesn't bode well that the best part of Legend of Korra was the 2 episodes that had nothing to do with the Legend of Korra.
Yeah, that's not so great. But
I mean, I think they worked it pretty well into the rest of the season. But
oh yeah, no, it was still integrated. There was justification for having that flashback, but it's funny that like it was the one thing that had nothing to do with like the current character, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just. I mean, I just want there to be more Asami and more Beifong. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I guess
there was no Beifong last season.
They were talking about.
But she was being really like.
Not enough.
Stupid. She was being like really making loads of assumptions and stuff, and just she was acting in a way I just didn't feel was in character.
They had to go out of their way to dumb her down in order to make some of that plot work, which was just that's the thing. Legend of Korra suffered from some legitimately bad writing and some very lazy writing decisions, which
you would get occasionally in Avatar, but
it's pulled punches that the original Avatar show never did. Which is unfortunate, but yeah. Oh, although I did see the Korra Asami thing. I already saw. So I guess there's something where a Korra's knocked out and Asami's like driving a bike, like holding up Korra on the bike, and someone already photoshopped it. So instead of like holding Korra beneath like Asami's arms underneath her armpits, her arms are grabbing her boobs and holding her up by her boobs. And like they've already added the text of like, oh yeah, we're going out on our first date, already at the first base or something like that. I'm just. Fucking internet. Although I do appreciate there was such a hardcore Korra.
Oh no.
Oh.
First couple.
Sorry, we just.
They're gonna cut me a match over
Korra and what's his face, Mako.
Sorry, Bill, we lost you there. We got really confused.
What's that?
You disappeared for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Oh really? Oh, you did not miss much. I was just talking about how Asami and Korra make so much more sense than Mako or yeah.
Yeah, they do. It's not going to happen, but they do.
I was just on a /fic reverie. Okay, so the next thing is Aaron Paul keeps accidentally turning on people's Xboxes.
Yeah.
Why?
He did that to me too.
He says Xbox on in the advert.
Yeah, and hopefully anyone who's listening to this at home with like on a speaker system, they may have
like anyone's
Maxwell
doing.
having said that
Xbox,
may have actually turned on some people's... Xbox, turn off.
Xbox, Bing porn.
Xbox on. Nope.
Okay, there we go.
Turned on mine. Anyway, yeah. So Aaron Paul, who played Jesse Pinkman on Breaking Bad, yeah, he's in a new commercial showing off Titanfall, and of course he starts off the commercial by like yelling at his Xbox on, play Titanfall. And so of course anyone listening to this commercial at home who has an Xbox, it turns on their Xbox and fires up Titanfall. So it's. I can't. You know what? I kind of wonder if Microsoft didn't know what they were doing with that, because that's a great way of kind of like guerrilla advertising, like how well that
play it now.
That the commercial can actually turn on your Xbox. Oh my God.
Yeah. So. Xbox on.
That's
Go
what I want. I want
game.
commercials to be able to control things in my house.
Well, I mean that's the future we're living in now. Actually, I need to shut off my Xbox. Xbox off. Xbox.
When you put that camera down, your fingers, it almost looked like someone was naked on your desk, and it was just their bare butt hanging out there. I don't need that image. I just assume the worst whenever you're on.
Why do you have that?
I have a hot dog.
But anyone who is not currently
Why?
watching, Bill is just
I know,
waving
anyone
a hot dog
listening
at us.
Bill's just waving a hot dog in front of the camera very terribly, very grossly. Sometimes I like a raw hot dog. You know what?
It doesn't even look cooked.
I know, but raw. You know what? There's a brand of turkey dogs that they sell in Portland that I love to eat raw. It's terrible. I was hoping to get worms, and that was going to be my health loss diet, or my weight loss diet. But I have not gotten worms yet. I'm very upset.
Dr. Oz will probably sell you those in pill form.
And you know what? I am justified in my love of raw hot dogs because I recently read about how Walt Disney, he would decompress from a long day at work. He would come home and eat raw hot dogs and feed them and share them with his dog. Like it was good enough for Walt Disney. It's good enough for me. Just saying. It's not like I'm eating tons of raw hot dogs. It just sometimes as a sometimes snack.
Oh, okay.
Like
as long as
juice.
it's a sometimes thing.
You eat a raw hot dog washed down with pickle juice. That's that's an acceptable lunch in some third world countries.
Parts of the South as well.
What else?
Sony.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sony announces a CG live-action Sonic the Hedgehog film. They seem to be going all Lego movie with it by having a couple of random guys from the Upright Citizens Brigade direct it.
Yeah,
that sounds like a disaster.
Man, especially if it's going to be partially live action. So I'm assuming that Sonic's going to have a live action girlfriend. Oh my fucking god.
Have you seen that screenshot from that Sonic game they put on the Xbox where he's kissing this human girl?
Oh, I saw that back in the day, yeah. They already did this with live action. Yeah, no. Oh my god.
There's some captions for that image.
And no one even likes Sonic games anymore. I don't know who this movie is supposed to be for, but
the crazy people on Tumblr, have you ever heard that thing about Google your name and then add the hedgehog?
Yeah, and you can find the worst fan art of whatever, like Maxwell Motley the Hedgehog or Jacob the Hedgehog, and you'll probably be like fucking.
There has to be a couple. Yeah.
I did look up Bill the Hedgehog, and it was just kind of generic. It wasn't anything as horrible as I was. I'm assuming if I dug deeper into that Google well, I would have found something more horrifying. But yeah. So.
Yeah, I used to be a moderator on DeviantArt on their DeviantArt related category.
I'm so sorry.
I know, tell me about it. No, it wasn't awful, but I was on the DeviantArt related category, which is where everything goes by default if you don't select it to go somewhere.
Oh no!
Yeah, so that was 90% Sonic the Hedgehog of some kind or other, either sprite art or read-on art or inflation art, which was enlightening in a not very pleasant way. Yeah.
Is your cat high?
Your cat is just chasing demons on the wall in the background.
Oh no, there's a fly.
Yeah.
There's a fly there.
So inflation. So the inflation art. How are people being inflated?
Various different ways.
Well, it's a metaphor for the U.S. economy.
Well,
so it's
I didn't know if
usually
they were being turned into balloons or if it was I've seen Willy Wonka blueberry fetish stuff.
Bill,
there's basically.
Bill, what do you want it to be? What do you want inflation to be? It's whatever you want.
And you'll
bicycle pumps, you can do that.
A world of pure imagination. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. I don't know why I said it was suddenly conflated. Those two songs in my head, but anyway.
I always do too, and I've never watched Reading Rainbow.
Man, Sonic the Hedgehog. What the? Anyway, speaking of terrible movies.
I played 500 hours of Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube when I was younger because I was an idiot.
I bought that game for the Dreamcast, and I can only play about half.
I have it on PC now because I had to know. I had to go back to it, and I had to know. I still like the Chows.
Oh, the Chows. Okay,
anyway.
Okay, yeah. I had to think for a moment what the hell. I was like, Sonic Adventure 2, you could raise the Chows still, right? Like Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's so fun. I like that.
So, okay, whoever wrote the next note, you can take that too.
SimCity: A Dame to Kill For trailer is out, and it looks like SimCity.
And the way you said that made me think. It sounded like you said SimCity.
SimCity.
Yeah, I heard that
too. It would be better.
That'd be
Maybe
amazing.
movie.
Sim City and David
That one involved Frank Miller, so.
In grids.
You know what? I've not
It's
seen the
just-
trailer. Is the trailer actually look bad, or what's?
No,
the...
it looks all right, but it just looks like Sin City. It's the black and white and mute individual color highlights and things. It's Sin City.
I'm assuming you guys didn't care much for the first
I
one.
took this book make a sequel. I've never watched it.
Yeah.
I'm just not
I
interested.
thought it was
in
alright.
Miller.
But
I
I don't know. It could have been better.
I
Really.
want to fuck Frank Miller in the ear with my hot dog, and so yeah, I was not like freakishly offended by SimCity. I am. Oh Christ, I am calling it.
I don't hear
SimCity
it.
now.
Yeah, I don't hear the movie's offensive or anything. It's just him as a person.
Well, there are isn't there a crazy serial killer with like women's heads on his wall and he eats
there's
someone's
Elijah
fingers
Wood.
or something like that?
Yeah,
Well,
Elijah
so wait,
Wood.
this trailer for the new movie, is it a Red Band trailer?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, right. Oh, I guess that is an American thing. That's usually Red Band trailer is a trailer that has swearing or nudity in it.
Doesn't seem.
That's
to
the difference. I didn't know.
If it's, I mean, I did like that. I mean, it was a terrible looking poster, but anything that does show off Eva Green's boobies.
I thought that was banned.
Yeah, that was such a craven publicity stunt too, because they knew that poster was going to get banned, and that's the only reason they created that, was just to create this like Sim City is too crazy for modern movie theaters. We're going to have this poster that's going to get banned. It's going to get us all this media attention. And,
Probably worked.
Yeah, no, I mean we're talking about it right now, so their publicity stunt did work, but yeah, so.
Yeah, I'll sell
Yeah,
a lot of
Evergreen,
posters too.
Anything that puts money in Evergreen's pockets is fine by me, even if it's terrible Frank Miller fucking horseshit. Anyway.
Yeah.
I hate that guy. That guy thinks he's so brooding and mysterious and badass, and everything where he writes is like
Yeah, he's one of those people where I bought some of his comics, and then like right as I was about to start reading them, I found out he was kind of a horrible person.
Yeah,
that
he's
seems
just
to happen to me
miserable
more than I'd
and
like.
sad and just like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really have to distinguish myself with people, with artists and with actors, with writers and things from the person from their work so much of the time.
Well,
'Cause
that's
basically everyone. You can find something that you absolutely hate about them, and it's.
I have my limits. Like, I won't deal with a whole lot of misogyny, and I won't deal with the kind of what's this kind of Frank Miller's problem? I won't do it, and just.
Yeah.
I don't even care about the misogyny as much. I don't think Frank Miller's a very good storyteller too. On top of that stuff, especially when it
I've
comes
never
to
read
movies.
his
Did you
stuff.
guys see the Spirit movie that he made?
Yes, I did see
I
that.
heard that was
That
bad.
movie was like It was like a waking nightmare.
It looked like a Sin City knockoff,
It
Well, it
basically
black and white and all that.
It was.
Made by the guy who made Sin City.
Yeah.
Man,
Weird.
Samuel L. Jackson, that movie's just like screaming and yelling at everyone at the whole time. It's just a goddamn mess. Anyway.
We're
Anyways,
gonna pay Samuel L. Jackson to do something.
what else? DC's future movie plans seem to include a Wonder Woman movie in July 2017, which is just 2 months after the Justice League movie is supposed to debut in May 2017, and a Sandman movie at Christmas 2016. You guys care about any of this? Nope.
I'm kind of interested about.
I'm curious.
I'd love to see the Wonder Woman movie, for obvious reasons. Let's have some lady protagonists, please. But a Sandman movie, I'm kind of interested in. I didn't really know the Sandman books growing up, but my friend was really into them, and
I keep meaning to read them. I've gotten around to it.
I like Neil Gaiman as a writer, so I don't see that.
I do
wouldn't
too.
enjoy
It has
them.
some problems, but
So have neither of you guys... Wait, so did you end up reading a Sandman after all, Maxwell?
No, I never read it just because they were never such a big thing here. I've got a friend who probably has all of them though. I could probably borrow them.
Really? They weren't that big of a thing in the UK?
Not really. Comics generally haven't been huge here. They're not quite as ingrained in our culture as much, and there are a lot less comic shops around here than there are, I think, in America. From what I hear.
there's not a lot of comic shops left around here either. In a lot of places.
Yeah, but there's a lot less here, I feel, than other places.
Oh, and here the only real way to get comics anymore is just to find whatever comics people leave in the woods. They're like waterlogged and fucked up and the pages ripped out.
It's kind of like
used
wood
up in
porn.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking mess. Especially Frank Miller comics. People love to wipe their asses with that shit. No, I was just kind of surprised just
Well,
because...
what else is it good for?
With Neil Gaiman being an English author, and so much of Sandman takes place or has stuff to do with Europe and the UK specifically, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just imagine it would be a bigger thing over in the UK, yeah.
I mean,
I
really
think
liked
Alan Moore
Neverwhere.
comics would be more of a thing over there.
Yeah, I need to read more Alan Moore.
I read
stuff.
that. It was okay.
But that's the thing. I would recommend Sandman because Sandman has taken us all. Sandman starts off really slow. It takes a whole graphic novel or two for it to really start taking off. But as a whole, it is a fucking magnificently put together story. By the end, that whole story just turns into this. It really is almost Shakespearean in its like scope and just like what the fuck's happening, and it's fantastic. But it's also has not aged very well. A lot of the art in Sandman is terrible. Each graphic novel was drawn by a different person.
Rough.
And so that means like the quality of the art in Sandman varies wildly from collection to collection. And
yeah, I noticed that reading Hawkeye. Like as soon as David Aza was not doing the art for those comics anymore, I'm like, I think I just lost interest.
Yeah.
I know he gets back into it later.
Sandman is interesting because all the artists were handpicked by Neil Gaiman, and he said he would write that collections like every graphic novel's like collection of material with that artist in mind. Which is kind of interesting, but still, like...
Which is a great idea, but traditional comic artists have to work in a house style so much that their art can become boring.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're bad artists, but...
Yeah, and the first book of Sandman stuff, it was drawn by the guy who did... I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but there's a cartoon called The Max, which is the kind of very gruesome, cartoony, almost like Mad Magazine...
TV thing.
It's almost like this Mad Magazine style of artwork, which... The Sandman is known to be such like an elegant comic. It really doesn't fit that kind of world. It's kind of like grimy and gruesome and stuff. But I don't know, Sandman's pretty good. And yeah, it is interesting to see that they've been talking about Sandman movie for like 25 years, and it's interesting to see.
Yeah,
that,
from what I know about those books, I don't know how they're going to turn that into a movie.
Yeah, and I think it was like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think he's supposed to be producing the Sandman movie, and it sounds like he may be actually serious about actually getting this done for DC. And the other thing with the Wonder Woman movie, a lot of people are poking fun at Marvel because Marvel keeps on saying that they can't find a female character that justifies having her own movie. And now, DC just suddenly said, okay, well, fine, fuck it, we're gonna have one.
Now that's a load of crap. I can't name any female Marvel characters because I don't read much Marvel.
Well, the X-Men.
There's got to be someone. They own the rights to X-Men. I'll give them that.
It's also interesting to see what the live-action movie take of Wonder Woman's gonna be.
What Black Widow from the Avengers? Give her own movie.
Yeah, she really needs her own.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Well, Marvel really can't use the Avengers. I know so little about the Marvel DC universe. I don't know what they can do. I don't know. So, but at least.
I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot of good female superheroes because people just don't write them very well. But
yeah,
they have Miss Marvel now. In a few years, they could do something with that.
That's with the Arabic girl, right?
Yes, that's why I know of it. People really like it for
I still haven't read that yet.
The rest of it is.
Good.
I hear it's good, but I don't like to get caught up in big superhero stuff. I don't have time for it.
Speaking of more movie stuff, have you guys seen the Paddington Bear trailer?
I have, yes.
I've seen the creepy Paddington meme.
Is that a meme already?
Yeah, it's a meme already.
So what do you think of the trailer?
People have photoshopped them into all kinds of horror movies. It's weird.
Oh yeah.
This has been Jacob Describes Meme Corner.
Better than you than me, because that's usually my job on every podcast.
Yeah. No, I'm quite interested to see it because it's it's so part of I don't know if I've ever not known about Paddington Bear. I don't know how big it is outside of the UK, to be honest, but
I always confuse him with Rupert.
Yeah.
That's how much I know about him.
Yeah. But
see, when I grew up as a kid, there was a stop-motion Paddington Bear cartoon. That's how I knew Paddington Bear. And actually, that was that was actually one of my first real exposures to British lifestyle, like the British accent, and everyone's drinking tea. And Paddington's very nice, and he's got his little red hat, and his little coat. And he's just very nice and sweet. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, and yeah, that was kind of an interesting first introduction into kind of like the British. Like the temperament of kind of like the mellow, like, oh, let's be polite and kind of nice, and not the imperialistic fucked up part of the British.
Yeah. We'll leave that part out.
Yeah, But it's really interesting to see that. I don't know when on earth they have filmed in Paddington Station because it's never not busy. But it's just interesting to see. I go through Paddington basically. If I take a train to see my parents in Cardiff, I go through Paddington Station. It's just how I go there because I live in London. So it's just that's how I go. And then there is a statue of Paddington Bear in Paddington Station.
Is it named for the bear, or is the bear named for the station? Or is it a coincidence?
The bear, I think, is named Paddington because he's found at Paddington
I was about to say,
from memory.
Okay.
He's found sitting on a suitcase with a note that says, "Please look after this bear." And then I think they just decide to call him Paddington. And he's come from darkest Peru.
That's great.
So there's maybe some racial stuff going on in those books. Maybe.
Yeah, because all those bears in Peru on those mountaintops. Yeah.
Yeah, just like, are there bears in Peru? I'm pretty sure that no.
If there's like 3 bears, and they're there just because they got lost or they were captured and set loose in Peru because a poacher's fucked up somehow or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, Paddington is nice.
There is a bear in Peru.
Oh yeah.
The author originally wanted Paddington to have travelled all the way from darkest Africa, but his agent advised him that there were no bears in darkest Africa.
What, for Peru?
What was darkest Peru?
Yeah, because there's a speckled bear in Peru.
See, speaking of having to separate art from authors like that, that's one of those things I can deal with, is darkest Africa. Like, there's some implications there, dude.
No, that's a charged phrase. That's why people try not to use it anymore. Yeah. Unless you're fucked up racist, but.
Right. It's always interesting to go back and find this stuff. So, anyways,
that's why when people talk about Portland, they say from hippest Portland comes.
Obviously.
So when was Paddington created? Was the Paddington Bear created?
Wikipedia says 1958.
Oh, okay, that Paddington Bear was actually even older than that.
So he's not
okay, so the statue of Paddington Bear, does he have his head toilet?
Head toilet?
That's the highlight of the trailer, as Paddington Bear sticks his face in the toilet.
Yep, obviously.
At least it proves to little kids that the English have toilets.
Why, we don't have toilets?
Yeah.
I don't know. He gets his face stuck in one of the is that in Paddington Station, the big leather paddles that you have to walk through to get in and out of the station?
What?
I don't know.
Isn't that just kind of a train station thing?
This is the little bigger corner of the Boy Howdy podcast this week.
Most of London trains. The bit in Harry Potter where Harry tries to get on a train. That's most of London trains.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Well, I guess they would just use London trains for that. Why build a train to do that?
Yeah, well, not. I don't mean like the Hogwarts Express. I mean specifically, there's a part of one of the Harry Potter films where Harry.
Yeah, you usually see a train go by while they're getting on the platform.
With Arthur Weasley, and he uses his Oyster card, and then Arthur Weasley's just sort of slapping the thing to try and make.
I need to go back. I don't even remember that. Yeah. Okay. Well.
But yeah, that most of the things.
Oyster card.
Yes, Oyster cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oyster card is it's a card that does like wireless. It's a contactless card essentially, and you use it on all transport in London. So buses, trams, trains, everything.
Oh, that's really convenient.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember what it's called though.
Yeah, so you get on the bus, you beep it. You get on a train, you beep it. You get on a tram, beep it. It just goes beep and everything. And then
see, here in the United States, we just have Lunchables. If you're eating a Lunchable, you just get on any kind of public transport for free.
That's why everyone's so fat.
Yeah, no, it's just like Lunchable actually, like they actually kind of like fund a lot of the
Lunchable economy was a really bad idea in retrospect.
No wonder your economy's so bad. It's built on Lunchables.
Lunchables. Okay, this
I get paid like 40 Lunchables a month. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah, no, yeah, you get subsidized if you agree to have most of your meals be Lunchables.
Yeah, it makes it real hard to order from Amazon though, because it's hard to get a Lunchables card. They're very big.
Yeah.
Oh dear. No, I get paid in pounds.
What do you do? What do you think the Lunchables do?
You get paid in pounds?
What
do you get paid in
Lunchables are
pounds?
essentially dog treats for Americans, where we're fine with like actually not getting paid that much as long as the Lunchables are involved. Like us doing work is just a special trick we do just to get Lunchables at the end of the day.
You gain like 5 pounds of Lunchables, so I mean, we really do get paid in pounds.
You know what
too,
the terrible thing is? The ham and cheese Lunchables on the crackers. Actually, not the worst thing in the world. I
loved the
Lunchables
pizza ones as a kid.
Annie's actually the person who introduced me to Lunchables for the first time when we went to go visit Mount St. Helens with friends once. Yeah, so we
Was that when Dylan McComas kicked you out of the house?
Yeah, that was part of that
Did you
trip.
go
I
outside?
mentioned that last week, but that was also the trip when we were introduced to Kirby's Magic Canvas Curse on the DS. But yeah, that was an eventful trip. So anyway,
So that was way more talking about Patty than trailers than I think any of us expected.
This the name of this episode is going to be just called Lunchables. Okay, so this works out.
The Lunchable economy.
Just a couple minutes, but we do have enough time to talk about the last note. Is rest in peace, Casey Kasem. He died today.
You were a person I knew existed.
Do you guys care
After
about
you
Casey
died.
Kasem, or have any experience with with
No,
that dude?
I'm sure he was a nice guy.
Now he's
I
dead.
don't know anything about him. I know he was the American Top 40. There's a lot of dead people. Like,
Well, no, he's just by virtue of the fact that he did the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. He should
Did
be
he do
known
that?
for that. He should be memorized for that. There should be a statue for Kasem Kasem just for that. Fuck the top 40 shit. Yeah. Did the voice Shaggy from Scooby-Doo is dead.
Aw.
Yeah, it was a sad story about how
those Scooby snacks.
I guess he had dementia and he was put in a home, but like then he's got kidnapped by his wife like last month. And all
Yeah,
this crazy
that's right.
shit.
I did hear about that.
And so yeah, they finally took him off his feeding tube. This is the most depressing way to end this episode. Talking about
Yeah, well done. Let's not end this on a high at all. Let's end this on possibly the lowest note.
so
we
this
can.
episode has been about concentration camps, Casey Kasem dying, Rick Mail dying, Harrison Ford breaking his pelvis and getting hit by a truck, or whatever the fuck happened to him on Star Wars. Yeah, this has been an uplift. Yeah, all that cancer talk
In the
too.
American economy.
And yeah, and how Lunchables Americans only paid with Lunchables these days. This has been the Boy Howdy podcast.
So healthcare.
I'm gonna make Annie.
Let's
I'm
go
gonna make
full
Annie
circle.
listen to this while she's on vacation, just so she
Oh,
can
please
show how much I fuck up a podcast when she's not here.
Honey, don't
What are you
leave.
gonna do next week?
I don't know. We gotta figure stuff out. You guys are welcome to come back next week too. I don't know.
I'm
We got
free
different
next week.
Yeah. But yeah, then the Annie will still be off next week, but then next week we'll be
I'm
back
trying to
on
think of
regular.
something happier to talk about.
Lego movie?
I watched Frozen. I can talk about Frozen real quick. It was okay.
Yeah.
The first half was really boring. I didn't like any of the music.
Really?
I thought it looked a little generic.
Really?
The snowman was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
I really liked the reindeer.
That confuses everyone watching that movie for the first time.
I refused to watch that movie in theaters because of that snowman. I saw that snowman like I'm no way.
It looks like a DreamWorks
Not doing
character.
that.
He's all like, nah.
Yeah. And he kind of acts like one, but he's better written than I would expect.
No, it's cute.
It works surprisingly well. That was another thing where I feel like it didn't need a villain. Like
Well,
it
doesn't
didn't
have-
need
well,
a
I
villain.
guess it does have a villain. I forgot about that. Yeah. Have you seen
Yeah,
Frozen, Maxwell?
Yes, I believe the last time I was on the podcast we talked about it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I like
Yeah.
it. I like
It was
the
better
support
than I thought it
movie.
was going to be. That's all I enjoyed about it. Like, I had a good time with it, so.
Yeah, I saw it after everyone was freaking out about it, and I knew that. Like, but it was going to impact my opinion of it. I'd watch it again. It was good.
Yeah. That's something else I've seen crazy amounts of Rule 34 art for. I saw, what
My
was it?
favorite. You think? I'll talk about mine.
it was Tomodachi Life. I saw people
Oh,
Frozen characters in Tomodachi Life, and this person's rendition of the Frozen characters were so horrifying. Kristoff looked like a thumb. He looked the weirdest, like little me version of Kristoff was gruesome. I don't know why it was. I've seen Rule 34 versions of stuff of that characters too, but people love Elsa and what's her face getting together, which they're sisters.
sister?
Which that's even I don't. Ugh.
was it Anna?
Are you guys crazy?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's Anna, yeah.
Was it Anna?
Yeah, Anna and Elsa getting together. I'm
Anna,
like, you
as they
guys are
say
nuts.
in sorry for the film.
So
my favorite thing about that movie had to be the "Do you want to bleep a snowman" video where they censored songs from Frozen,
oh, they
and it was that's the joke. Do you
Yeah.
want to bleep a snowman? That was the whole.
No.
It's funny. You gotta watch the video.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
okay,
Maxwell's got
podcast
to
over.
wrap this up. Maybe next week we'll tackle some spoiler transistor talk.
Okay.
Also, maybe that'll give me some time to actually beat it, so I can actually enjoy, like, actually get involved.
I really like that game.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts about the ending.
I've played it for 2 hours, and it's, considering everyone seems to say it's a 6-hour game, that means I'll only have to play it a couple hours to beat it. So yeah, it's not like
At this point, you may want to start over. Even I love the gameplay in that, but even after I tried to come back to it after a week, I was a little lost.
Yeah, especially with the gameplay, I could see that being a little confounding if you haven't played it in a while.
I think especially for the story and stuff, it's really worth
Yeah,
doing it as much all the way through as you can.
Really?
I think
Okay.
it benefits from that.
I have problems with the endings, but I think the story is good overall. And my problems with the ending, I feel, might have more to do with society surrounding the ending. I don't know. It's hard to think about. It's hard to wrap my head around.
Yep.
Okay.
So
We'll talk more about that next week then.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So-
Song and dance number for the ending.
okay, I'll start. My name is Jacob Dahl. I don't know why you're here listening to me. You should probably have something better to do with your life. You can find me on Twitter at IHateDRM75, or you can go to my website /blog, vulpusabsurder.com.
Okay.
Spelled AUSBDA? I don't remember.
They
That's
can
where I'm
Google
at.
it. Yeah.
You can. I don't know. Maybe not. You can try. Go for it.
You'll find it eventually.
There's nothing on it. I just registered the domain because I wanted to have it. So.
Maxwell, how can people hunt you down?
If people really want to hunt me down on Twitter, I am Maxwellian. I have my website gotmockery.com, which is about 7 years out of date at this point, so nothing on there is recent. And I'm on Tumblr, maxwellian.tumblr.com, where I don't post anything new. I just repost other people's stuff. So
Yeah, I've linked you a
That's
couple
good stuff,
times, and I
though.
noticed
I'll
that your
vouch for
last
that.
Tumblr post was like 2 years ago.
No, my Tumblr stuff is recent, but my actual own website stuff is
Maybe that's what I'm
old.
thinking of. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy old then. So
Okay. Thank you guys again so much for stepping in for Annie this week. You guys did a fantastic job. It's really appreciated.
thank you.
Well, now that Annie's gone, you're gonna need someone else to host the podcast. So I figured I'd
She
just
might get
take
eaten
over
by a
now.
bear. You guys, I might need you guys to be permanent co-hosts. You never know.
I've read Emily Carroll's comics. I don't know if I trust her.
I'm sure Annie could get turned
I'm
into a
joking. She
lizard
seems
woman
great.
and then eat somebody out in the middle of the woods. If she's gonna live life by an Emily Carroll comic, oh my god, holy shit!
Dude.
I mean, lots of blood and dead dudes. So okay,
On the off
I'll
chance
share it up.
Hi, Emily. I
And
think you're
okay.
great.
I'll see you guys next week then.
Yep. See ya.
Take care, guys.